Hello and welcome back to another episode of SDS. As you can see by the title, today we are discussing top 10 winners in the world since 2000.
Yeah!
Listen, I'm excited for this one.
I don't know why I'm excited today.
Good.
It's because it's the first time we're doing a list and you're there, bro.
As you can see, my coach sitting next to me, Ilyas Noriega, in the building as well. We are cooking things. Trust me, the season won't finish how it started. Make sure you stay tuned. Also, we're nearly at 300k subscribers on this channel. I think about 9k or so away. Listen, every single one of you at home have helped us get here so far. If you haven't subscribed, and I'm sure there's a percentage Hasib will drop right here of how many of you watch our videos and don't subscribe, please do. We're nearly there. Get involved, please. Sitting across,
Please.
from Ilyas, we have the man of many words.
Yes, sir.
Abs Busquets is with us today.
That's the Saturday social himself.
Like a nice way of saying this guy yaps a lot. That's like a nice way of saying him, man.
Hey,
He
fresh
talks
off
a
your
lot.
Saturday
He's a
social
yapper.
appearance as well. How was that?
Yep, Saturday social was fun as it always is. Me and Boovy are on there.
How many appearances this season?
Fourth appearance so far. It's okay.
That's
Yeah.
about 15 bags they've sent. Good money.
Money club, huh?
Money.
You wouldn't be
Okay.
seeing me if that was true. I'd be in Vegas.
Listen, sitting next to you, coming back. This almost becoming a regular fixture at this
Come
point.
on, man,
but
bro.
we have Luca back in the building as well.
Luca Valentino.
Come
You know what I
on.
mean, we love it. And of course, seen your recent gig getting it with Juventus now
Talk to me,
in-house.
talk to
Hey,
me.
listen.
Here we go here.
Here we go.
Here we go. I think it
Here
was
we
last
go.
week officially
Yeah,
announced.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Well done. Big ups.
It was all done a while ago, but I couldn't give the here we
Yeah.
go.
Come on,
Fair
man.
play,
Come
man.
on.
I like them.
I see you on beaches kicking ball with my goal, Edgar
Edgar
Davids.
Davids,
I'm
yeah.
like, bro, he's
you must
enjoying
be
life.
hating.
Bro, I'm
hating.
hating straight away.
I
was like, bro,
saw
you
the
blew my
messages.
dream.
Yeah.
He's peaked. I can't peak.
Yeah.
To that peak.
Fuad came in here today and said, how does he smell?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
How does he
How
smell?
does he smell?
Yeah.
We'll talk after the show. I know you cut a little strand. Listen, today, as I said earlier on, we are discussing top 10 wingers since 2000, and everybody on this table and some others as well have casted their votes. We have a 16-man list here, so a few different votes, but of course, the four of us, star player as well, Liez, Liban, Fouizi, Rinity, Faisal, Shuaib, Chunks, AV.
Oh.
You got to have.
You know what?
Yeah, yeah.
Did we
You
get
know what?
rid of Alfie?
Gave us some nice
Did we get rid of
tracksuits,
Alfie?
Yeah.
We got rid of Alfie.
Get in.
Hasib is in.
Get
And
in.
big up Hussein as well, new producer.
Yeah.
He's on the chart as well.
Where's the
And
gaffers
listen,
list?
Gaffer apparently is
Come on, Hasib. Where's Sharky?
Yeah. He declined
Wow.
to comment.
Interesting.
He's doing no press conferences now.
This
Yeah,
is
they're not press
conferences.
this
God
is
damn.
a new one.
He sent me
Sharky
a
not
blue
sending his list.
Damn.
Well, listen, get involved in the conversation as well. We want to hear your top 10s. Let us know in the comments where you rank these players. If they should have been higher, should have been lower, or what your 10 players in general are before the video begins. Just, you know what I mean? A couple man like to change midway through when they've heard our suggestions.
Yeah.
But,
No Ronaldo and Messi as well.
yes, that is the exclusion.
Not
No
aliens.
Ronaldo and Messi, of course, the aliens. They'd have been 1 and 2, so it's a given.
We
But,
know who would have been one.
Yeah, for sure.
hey.
I don't
know
think
that.
I don't
That's,
think
hey, hey,
Salah
hey,
would be
that's not the conversation we're having today. But let's start off with number 16.
16?
I believe he only has one vote, and that one vote comes from AV. And listen, I'm not mad at him.
We've
I'm
already
not
started.
mad at him.
We've already started. Can I just say who he's put down? I can see it from here. He's put Antoine Griezmann.
Okay.
You see, I knew your reaction would
cool.
change.
Yeah,
I don't have an issue with it. It's just funny that he's the only one.
It's just
Like, it's such a
isolation.
thing. Yeah, it's such an
Isolation
AV
is
thing
funny.
to do.
The thing is do you class Griezmann as a winger?
Not for
No,
me.
a lot of his career has been a centre forward.
He's played so many different positions. I
true.
don't know what
I don't
it
even
is.
think he's a number 10. I don't even class him
Nah,
as a
he's like a
10.
second
He's
striker.
a second striker. Yeah, he's a second
So
striker.
I don't know.
I think
but
it's that one FIFA card from like FIFA 19 when he had that pink card. That
right
was a
wing or left wing.
Yeah.
Them
Yeah.
Sociedad days, maybe you could
Yeah,
call him a
maybe
winger.
Sociedad,
but-
Maybe he loves FIFA as well. so
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe he's thinking about that.
I
card.
think everyone thought, but it was AV.
Yeah.
The guy playing
If Alfie was in
the
the
guy
list,
second in the list.
if Alfie was in the list, we would have said Alfie. But
Yeah, for sure.
Alfred would have won. But joint 16th with him, there is also someone with one vote, 10th place, and that is Shuaib, who has put Raheem Sterling.
Shuaib put Raheem
Yeah.
I thought
So
Liban
Raheem
would've put him
Sterling and Griezmann joint on 1 point.
I'm just not
both
happy
with
with
one
that one.
vote at 10th.
You don't like
Brother,
Sterling?
I said, no, it's not about don't like Sterling. I spoke on this podcast before. That brother puts Sterling there because he's from Stonebridge.
No, but Liban didn't put it. Shai put it.
I'm
Come
shocked
on,
that Liban
come
didn't do it.
on.
Yeah.
But listen, Sterling should not be in the top 10.
Not Sterling.
I know, I'm saying because Shoaib said Sterling.
Okay.
Sterling
You
should
could
be.
make a case, I think, potentially pushing him in that top.
Nah,
ten.
he had a good.
He
He
had
had
a
like
really good
6
run.
years. He had like 6 years where he was top.
And he was one of the best players
Like,
in the
I would
world
say
from
like
2018 to 2020.
Yeah, I would say like 2013 to 19, 20ish. He was like one of the best wingers of the
Yeah.
world.
And under Pep,
Nah, yeah, he was.
His
He was. He
accolades,
was.
his
Him at his
goals,
pomp when he was,
England,
yeah.
all that kind of stuff. Like,
International tournaments.
A lot of
and he's from the ends
yeah.
as well.
I think that was why Shoaib put him in there. Big part of that.
I should have put him in as well.
You should have.
Well, moving on to 15th on 2 points. There is only one vote I can see here, and that is Hussein, who has put him 9th place. That is Alexis Sanchez.
I like that one.
I like
Yeah, I'm not mad at
I like
Sanchez.
that one.
I'm not mad at
International
Sanchez.
tournaments.
I like
I like
Sanchez.
that one, yeah.
Shown bits at
And you put
Arsenal.
him where? 9th?
He put him 9th, yeah.
I'm not
that's
mad
not
at that.
crazy, that's
Not
not
mad at
crazy
that.
to say.
Not
That's
mad
good.
at that.
It's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous thing.
The-
No, that's not ridiculous thing.
It's not
Oh.
ridiculous at all.
Oh, he's seen something.
This next one. 14th place. We have 2 people who have voted for him. One being star player, who has put him 9th. And our friend Luca, your first, not first place, your 10th
My
place
10th,
pick.
yeah.
But your first entry into the list. And this is Pavel Nedved.
Oh, Nedved.
Mr.
Tell
Ballon
us
d'Or.
why
Ballon
you
d'Or.
Talk
have
to us
him
about Mr.
10th.
Ballon d'Or.
And
Juventus
let me just
legend.
preface this with,
Juventus legend.
as soon as I saw that name, I already have a little bit of regret of not putting him.
Would you
on
put him
my
in your
list.
top 10 now, would you say?
I would maybe, but I want to hear your case as to why you
Talk
had
to
him
us.
on your one first.
Because Pavel Nedved was him, man. When you talk about one of the best wide players, wide midfielders, wingers in Serie A, I think he's the best. We haven't had like so many wingers like the Premier League or the La Liga, so there's not as much competition, but he was the main man. At Lazio, I'm going to go on to Juventus in a second, but at Lazio, he won the league with them in 2000. He won 2 Coppa Italias and 1 UEFA Super Cup. Being arguably, they had a lot of great players, but arguably one of them, the front runners for it
Star
at a young
players.
age as well. In their most successful period in their history, that was peak Lazio times. And Luciano Moggi, who was the sporting director of Juventus at the time, he was very good in the sense that when he sold a player, he didn't sell them for no reason. He already had a replacement. So before he sold Zidane to Madrid, he knew Pavel's my guy. He's coming here.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. Pavel's coming to Turin. Nobody can do anything
Big
about
shoes to
it.
fill.
Hey,
Big
no
shoes
two
to
ways
fill.
and big shoes to fill.
You see it?
Hey,
I see what you guys did.
I don't think he knew that.
I don't think he clocked that.
I didn't
You're sharp.
it.
Hey,
No two ways and shoes.
Trim, sharp. You're sharp. You're on it today.
Ilias, you're on there.
Yeah, you're on
Hey,
that.
I drank my
First
milk
touch.
today.
Hey, listen. That trim is doing something today, I'll tell you.
I'm trying to grow.
Hey.
It was big shoes to fill, but he filled them because let's be honest, Zidane at Juventus, he won a Ballon d'Or. He was one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
He went to the Real Madrid Galacticos, but Nedved knocked them out of the Champions League in 2003, where he eventually won the Ballon d'Or. So I would even argue that Nedved at Juventus, time spent at Juventus, you can make the case that he was better than Zidane just for the time spent there, legacy-wise, also what he did on the board. But then when he came to Juventus, he won 4 league titles, 4, not 2, because those 2 that they took away from us are still ours. They're in our
Yeah,
museum.
yeah.
So 4 league titles. Won the Ballon d'Or in 03. And I know people here, Henry should have won it. But I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions in football history. I think he should have won in 04, Henry. I don't think 03 was a robbery. Because Nedved, as a wide midfielder, I think he got 24 goals, 11 assists, something ridiculous like that.
Champions League.
Champions
doing
League, he
bits.
was the main man in that.
Highest
And look,
assister in Syria.
exactly. I'm not
Player
going
of the year in Syria.
played it for Juventus
Yeah.
as well, player of the season. I'm not going to say we would have won the final if he was there, but he was disqualified. But you can obviously, it goes without saying, we would have had a better chance of winning had Nedved played the final against AC Milan. And overall, just a legend of their game, Pavel Nedved. And I think he's super underrated, and I think he doesn't get the respect he deserves because of that Henry thing. I think people say, oh, Nedved robbed the Ballon d'Or of Henry. I'm not going to rate him as highly as he should be rated. And I think Nedved was a top player, man.
Really good case.
I'm
And
sold.
I'm just going to throw something else in there.
Go on.
Just to help his case. Obviously, I was chilling with my boy Edgar not long ago.
Yeah,
Wait.
Hey, you dropped something. Pick it up. Pick up that name. Pick it up.
First name
First name, baby.
Oh.
For those that don't know, I'm
Flex
referring
on
to Edgar Davids. You know, you might have heard of him. I don't know if you've heard of him or not. And I asked him who was the best player he played with in his career. He gave me a PR response at first. You know, there's so many I've played with. I can't pick
yeah,
one.
that one, yeah.
But I was like, if you had to pick maybe one that stood above the rest, he was like, Pavel was strong. He named Nedved before Zidane, before Del Piero. And I was like, what about Zidane? He was like, Zidane was good as well, but Pavel was strong.
Yeah,
He was like that.
He was
So I think that kind of says...
That's a big retweet.
It
Do
says
you know,
a
for
lot.
me as well, he
It's a
was
big
almost like
retweet.
the first inverted winger I saw. Him and Perez, I remember, were right footers playing off
Yeah.
the left when it wasn't the norm at the time. When it was 4-4-2s, you have a lefty playing on the left, typical get down the byline and whip it. And then man used to come in and let
Tear
it
it
off. Perez's passing ability, I would say,
Yeah.
was incredible.
He's a good
But
playmaker.
his shooting
it was-
ability,
it was
bro,
really-
Nedved had a rocket on
That
him,
volley
bro.
against Madrid in 03.
Nasty work, bro. Nasty
Crazy
work.
glaze off
Listen,
going on,
I
man.
honestly regret.
glaze off. Like, I respect the glazing.
Someone
That was a
needs
good
to
3 minute
chop-
glaze.
Yeah,
That was good. That was good.
That's a good TikTok clip for
Nah,
someone.
nah. We need that. We need that.
No
Hey,
one. Get on that, Shaim.
Come on. But yes, 3 points he has, and he is actually joint 14th with someone who has only had one selection here. And I'm sorry, Abs Busquets, do you want to explain to me why you have David Villa 8th on an all-time wingers list?
I respect it.
And let
I
me
respect
explain to you why. For me, growing up, obviously United, obviously a huge team in the Champions League nights, but that Barcelona team especially, the things I saw from David Villa, the way David Villa broke my heart, especially in 2011. Even for international, because I had to take international into account as well, and what he did for Spain was also very, very pivotal. Like, I understand why your confusion is at the beginning when thinking, why is David Villa this high up on this list? I just think when
Not
he
this
was
high
nat-
up, just why is he even here? I class
you would
him as a
class him up.
striker
Okay, no
personally,
problem,
yeah.
no problem. But for me, what he was doing off the left hand side, he was a striker. You're right, but he was a striker from that area as well. And I think about the times when Barcelona and Madrid would play against each other. He would be a killer for that team on the last line, on the last shoulder of a team, being ready to kill off attacks. And this was necessary for them. It's a part that needed. It was a big part of their attack to have that killer there, because you'd have maybe Messi's coming inside. You have the creativity of Iniesta, Xavi. You have even Pedro coming off the bench. So you have a lot of different options. But that killer that you needed there was David Villa. So it wasn't your natural type winger. But what he was doing for club and country, I think on huge European nights, even before Barcelona as well, the guy he's been a bad boy for a while, for Valencia as well. But mainly for me, emotionally, the emotional connection is because how much he hurt me, and also what he did for Spain and Barcelona during his pomp.
No, fair.
fair,
I think he's a great player. I always saw him as a more natural 9, but I do
Yeah.
agree in his later years, even at Atletico, you could say,
Yeah.
drifted to those wide areas. Would I have him as high up? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he could've
maybe
been
not.
better.
But
Maybe
I do think he definitely deserves an honourable mention. I can't lie,
Big up
because
David,
he is
Yeah, it was a baller.
Big up
Someone-
David.
quality.
He had a great beard. as well,
Moving
that
up
little
to
line there, man. I wanted that.
Why didn't you
I'm trying to-
why didn't you
wanted
first
that,
name
I
basis
can't
him? Why didn't you first name basis him? You met
Oh,
him,
that's
no?
even
You
my
don't
guy.
know that.
I even
Yeah.
would that commentate of one of his goals.
Nah.
First name
He
basis?
don't know you.
Not
that.
even first name.
He don't know you. that.
That's not your first
He
name.
don't know
It's
you.
Dave.
It's
It's
Dave.
Dave.
Coach you in the back,
We didn't play two touch. We didn't play two touch, man. We didn't play two touch, man.
two touch on
Do
the
you
beat.
get
We
this
didn't
right?
break that barrier. Hey, next time, I got you, Dave. I'll get you, Dave. I'll
Sort
get you.
out.
Big D, you know.
Next
Big
up,
D.
after David, we have
Big D
a
is
man
crazy.
with double 6 points, and that is Sadio Mane. Mane getting an 8th place vote from Fuizzi, a 10th place vote from Rinaldi, and a 9th place vote from AD. I'm not mad at this one, to be fair. I think
I'm not
Mane
mad
does
at it.
deserve a definite honourable mention. He was definitely someone who I was considering.
Yeah, I was
But
considering too.
when it just kind of came to kind of splitting a few hairs, I mean, won a trophy for his country, won the Champions
Huge.
League with Liverpool,
Huge.
won the Premier League there as well. Has had a massive impact there as well in terms of how they play, and kind of his playing style, I think, is incredible as well. But when it comes to just those fine margins, I think there's a few wingers that I would just kind of maybe who I think have done more in kind of the bigger games, the bigger moments,
maybe
and kind
what-
of for a longer period as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think what hinders Mane is his longevity, to be honest,
Yeah.
at the top of football. Maybe like 3-4 seasons.
Yeah.
It was really at his peak.
Yeah, in comparison to the other guys that are
Mm-hmm.
before him as well.
Well, moving on from him, number 12, we are now getting close to the top 10. And this is who, you know, if Nedved was going to
This
replace
is who
someone,
you
this is...
swap out.
I have him 10th place. I can see here. I'm trying to see who else has him here. Faisal has him in 6th place.
Oh, hard.
Shuaib has him in 9th place. And I think we are the only 3 people that have voted. So with a total of 8 points, it's Vinnie Jr. And I think Vinnie Jr.
Way too early.
See, what I think...
Faisal sick.
Faisal has him 6. And the thing is, what I think is happening with Vinnie Jr., a lot of recency bias. Because obviously he's not been in a great spell of form since the missed Ballon d'Or, if you like. We're going to come back 10 times. Put it in the bag, bro. But I feel like up to date, what he's done I don't think you can snub it or overlook it, especially last season in the Champions League, the way he stepped up and grabbed games by the scruff of the neck. We're talking about guys like Nedved and Zidane's, and in those big moments, he was that guy.
Yeah.
In the league campaign, you saw what he was doing in the second half of the season. I think for a number of years now, he's been doing it as well. Maybe the previous years he didn't get the Champions League or whatever. He was playing a smaller role because of guys like Benzema, Modric.
But even in that year with Benzema, Ballon d'Or, he was
incredible, and that's
it was
what
a
I feel
two-man
like.
step.
He was
two-man step.
So he was a Robin, but
Yeah.
last year we almost saw him take that
Take the
Batman role,
Batman
and I'm
role.
like, he's still got so much of his career left to do as well.
Yeah.
I'm almost like banking on him coming good, and I think he is at that Ballon d'Or consistent level, in my opinion.
As in your podium,
This
kind of,
yeah. I had him. Listen, we were talking about best players this season, and I had him high up there. But I still think you can't overlook what Vinny's done so far, and in terms of his improvements as well.
Yeah,
Remember
he-
3-4 years ago, they were saying he's playing against us. The conversations we're having now is completely different, and you have to give that credit to him for improving,
Of course.
and to do it at Madrid as well.
Yeah.
Not many people. That's a real
Heavy shirt.
sink or
That's a
swing
heavy shirt.
climb, bro.
It's a heavy shirt.
And he's someone who has swam, breaststroke, back crawl. He's done it all, bro.
Yeah.
So now it's like, because the past few months have been bad, I feel like everyone's ready to wash their hands of Vinny, prove yourself to us again. And I'm like, bro, I promise you, all of these greats we're going to go through, they've had some rough periods as well. And you can go through them with a fine comb. But because it's how football is looked at nowadays
Yeah.
with such a scope, you're not allowed to even have like a half bad season.
I'll be honest, before you said all of that, I was going to think that Vinny could be no. I can understand the justification.
Yeah.
But putting him sixth is ridiculous.
No, that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah.
That's stupid.
That is a little bit too high.
let's have it
I
right.
had him 10th.
Putting Vinny sixth is a joke.
That's why
That's
Faisal not here.
It's a joke.
Feds locked him up already.
Brother, I'm
And
sorry.
Steve sent the list over, and police went to his yard. Faisal, you're getting locked up.
Think
So it's
about
meant to be Faisal instead of Luca. You know that today. It's meant to be Faisal instead of Luca, but they arrested him.
Yeah,
because of that tape. But genuinely, like, I'm just thinking of some of the names that he has to put him over. For you to say there's only 5 wingers since
No,
2000
no.
better than Vinny.
It's crazy.
Brother,
That's crazy.
He took up the mantle of Mr. Champions League, like you mentioned. He has been a bad boy for a couple of seasons now. What about longevity issues with Mane? He hasn't been nowhere near the top of the world for as long as it needs to be to be in this conversation. And also the peak of that hasn't been crazy for some of the level that we're going to be talking about, the level of players here.
Even his
I
Ballon
still
d'Or
think
worthy
even-
season wasn't like, bro, the numbers were good,
Yeah.
but they weren't like extravagant in the sense that you're like, clear Ballon d'Or winner.
This is
There was
give him
still
the- give him
loads
the-
of
yeah,
debates.
it wasn't
And like the one thing I also want to say about Vinny is international
I was
stage,
just about
Yeah.
to say as well.
nothing.
Where is he? Where is he?
Nothing.
Yeah,
internationally?
he's got to do more in a couple of areas, but those were kind of the hairs I was splitting, to be fair. But I put him
10th,
10th,
I can understand.
8 points
Yeah,
in
yeah.
total, and he's finishing
9th
12th.
maybe.
Nah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Ninth,
I don't know if
maybe.
I can
Ninth,
hear
you're
ninth.
crossing the line. a
Yeah, do you know
little
what I
bit.
mean? I'm not
Ninth.
sure.
Hey,
Police
you're
might
crossing
be
the
coming.
line.
Yeah, but he's
No, 999's been down.
He's been down.
It hasn't been pressed.
Yeah, it hasn't
I could
been-
talk myself out of it.
Yeah, he's got a chance.
8th down below. Hello, officer.
yeah, it's done. It's done. It's done.
Well, listen, moving up next, we have a 15-point entry at 11th place, and Luca, you on the table have him on yours at 9th. Liban has him at 4th.
Shock.
Fuizzi has him at 10th. Chunks has him in at 7th, and Hussein has him in at 10th. And this is Mr. Ryan
Ryan Giggs, okay, yeah, I was
Giggs.
thinking Giggs.
Now, Ryan Giggs,
4th is crazy.
United fan. You've obviously got him 9th. You
You
guys
have him
want
as
to tell
well?
me a
No,
little
I
bit
don't
as to...
mind.
No, he doesn't have him on his
Doesn't
list.
list.
I think it was a little bit before his time, so...
Not the issue, really. Actually, no, the winger version of
Yeah,
Giggs,
the
of
winger-
course,
you
yeah.
saw centre mid
I saw
version.
centre mid version again. No, that's true. That's true. But
How
even
old
still,
are you?
26. I'm 26 now.
26, yeah.
But I'll say this.
He's lying.
Of course.
See, Giggsy, Giggs,
The hand wave he
gave me
was so Italian. That might be the most Italian
he's like, no, I'm gonna give it no.
I love that.
But yeah, Giggsy. I thought about Giggsy, if I'm being honest.
Is he someone who maybe gets overlooked in these lists a little bit because he's
definitely.
such a long period of time?
Yeah.
Where, bro, he's got his period in the 90s where he's
Yeah.
the wonder kid breaking through the speed demon.
Yeah.
Where he's running through Arsenal teams like it's nothing. Then you've kind of got him a little bit more involved kind of as a direct winger in
Yeah.
those Fergie teams through the mid-thousands. Then he becomes obviously like a seasoned playmaker, if you like,
Yeah.
in the centre mid area. But you've seen so many versions of Giggs, people don't know
I
how
think
to
that,
gauge him
I
or
think
judge
that
him.
definitely plays a part in it. So he's come through into at United at 92. The pinnacle of his winger years would have been closer to 99 towards the end before he started changing and he started finding different roles further down in the pitch. Like I say, the gigs that I knew was even controlling games in big Champions League nights, playing in the 10, and it could be any opposition that's coming to Old Trafford from any league, and the guy is running the show. He is everything good that's happening at Man United is happening because Giggs is involved. In this link, I did genuinely think about Ryan Giggs, but I just thought that there's other people who have done things at a club level and more often. for longer periods of time in the winger position.
In the
And also
2000s.
internationally, he's going to obviously be held back being a Welsh
Yeah.
national. He's not going to have that much of a CV
Wales
there as
weren't
well.
doing great during that
Nah,
period.
it
You
wasn't
need the
Wales
Bale.
during yeah, if only they coincided. We'll
Talk
speak
soon,
on
talk
that
soon,
later.
talk
We'll speak on that later.
The convo already happened.
But you had Giggsy in.
I had him, yeah,
Talk to
because
me.
I still think he deserves a shout in the top
I agree,
10. Because
agree.
even in the 2000s, he won 8 Premier League titles. He still was a vital part of that Manchester
Huge.
United
Bro,
team. I
let's
think
not forget as well his assist numbers in the
it's
Premier League.
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Nobody is
Comes
getting
close.
like we've seen the creative machine that Kevin De Bruyne is, and we look at him like he's a fake human.
Yeah.
But he is not even scratching that.
No.
But,
So
but
it's-
Giggsy was that before. And then when we talk about like, you could describe him as a professor in the sense that a lot of young players at United at the time learned from him. Like listen to Cristiano Ronaldo when he talks about Giggs. He learned so much from him in his early days at United. And I don't think maybe Ronaldo would have developed into the player he kind of became at United if it wasn't for someone like
Yeah, for
Giggs.
sure.
They're mentoring him, helping him along the way. So I think he definitely deserves respect. And I agree what you said, Abs. Obviously, he did a lot of good work in the 90s, played closer to goal, but I still thought he deserves a shot.
No,
And he was also one of the players that was kind of a little bit ahead of the curve in terms of looking after your body with football.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was doing yoga and that
The
early.
yoga and all the other
Why he
existential,
played
bro. That's
Champions
why he
League
played.
finals in 2011.
But he
bro.
was one of the
Started in
first
92.
ones that kind of showed the way to do that, to play to your 40s. And it's
Unbelievable.
like, it wasn't really
No, I regret
common.
not putting Giggs in my list
Yeah.
now that you mentioned that. I do
Hey,
regret not
this is
giving
why
him
we
a
have
shout.
these conversations.
It's good,
you know
it's a
what I
very
Shout
good
out Giggs and them, man, though.
But now,
Shout out to Giggler in there.
Shout out
now we're entering
Giggler.
the
Giggler. You know what he was on in the early 2000s. Shout him out, though.
Trying not to go there.
Shout him
I
out,
was
though.
trying not to go there.
What?
Come on,
nicely
on the
without
pitch.
that.
It
On
was
the
there.
pitch.
I needed to. I needed to, man. I needed
It was
to.
there, it was there.
He would have been in my top 10. If he admitted it, he would have been number 2 for me.
You know what I clocked?
Yo,
He
we
just
don't
saw a
condone
bouncing
this.
ball and it just sat up for a volley
It
there.
was there. It was there. It was just I dunked
He
it
just
in.
had to hit it, bro.
Well, listen,
I
that
hope the
is,
team keeps that in.
Alley-oop.
that is all the honourable mentions done now. That is Ryan Giggs, Vinnie Jr. at
Only one of
12th,
my players on
Mane 13th, Villa at 14th, joint with Nedved. 15th was Alexis Sanchez, 16th, Sterling and Griezmann, joint on 1 point. Now we are entering top 10 realm.
Wait, Ilias, any
I
of
had
your
none
players
of my
been
names
named
yet?
yet?
You are
And
Mr.
this
Top
is-
10.
So this is your top 10.
That's good. That's good for you then.
Top
So
10
we
dead
said
or alive.
all 10. You got them in.
Bow. Boom. I'm
That's
in
what it's
there.
about. Let us know who you have in your top 10s as well. Comment below. Let us know. I like where this is beginning already. I like where this is beginning already. In number 10, I have put him 7th place. Abs has him in 10th place.
Okay.
Ilias has him in 8th place.
Finally.
Luca doesn't have him at all.
Oh.
Yes.
We will discuss who. Liaz has him in at 9th. Liban at 6th. Fuizi at 7th. Rinaldi at 8th. Faisal at 10th. Shoaib at 4th. Chunks at 10th. AV at 8th. Hasib at 8th. Hussein at 6th. Of all the entries,
Could I have a guess?
you are the only person who
give us-
doesn't have
doesn't
him.
have
Give us,
in
give
your
us a
top
guess.
10.
Give us a guess.
Have a guess of who it is.
Where did Lias put him?
Liaz put him 9th.
Is it Riyad Mahrez?
It
No.
is not
No,
Riyad
no.
Mahrez, my
He's
friend.
for me. Riyad Mahrez is an honourable mention.
He is
He's an honourable mention.
Angel Di Maria.
I did forget about him.
Di Marie.
Oh!
Di Marie.
You know what? You get one I forget per episode.
To be fair, Pavel Nedved.
You put you wouldn't take Nedved out, would you?
Angel
Come on.
Di
He would, you
Maria.
know.
No, I wouldn't take him out for
You
Nedved.
move him up.
Mr. Clutch.
But I
Di
don't,
Maria.
to be fair, I'm not too annoyed. I don't because I'm
Let's
looking at
speak about-
mine.
yeah,
I'm
go
looking at my list. I wouldn't really take out. I think if you're doing 2000s, maybe Di Maria probably is a better shout than maybe Giggs and Nedved for longevity.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could
And what he
probably
done
go
in that
with-
Champions
yeah.
League run as well.
Di Maria was top.
World
to be
Cup
fair.
too.
Yeah.
So
Talk to me
I was
about
about to say,
Di
yeah,
Maria.
sell the case to us, please.
I'm not a good salesman, but as you lot know, Di Maria in that run in Champions League for against Atletico Madrid when he played centre midfield,
Yeah.
completely changed the game. That
3
run in
months.
the pardon?
3 lungs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Literally, he was the white Kante. for them.
Genuinely.
Literally, he was the white Kante
Genuinely.
for them. Then you've got the World Cup, his being sidekick to Messi and literally helping Messi get the World Cup that he deserved. Even in the Copa America as well, he was quality. And what he's done just in general for Real Madrid, he was like behind Benzema, behind Ronaldo, behind Bale. He's behind 4 greats
Yeah.
of the game, 3 greats of the game. Sorry, and he still performed at a level where everyone was like, "Oh, this is arguably one of the best wingers in the world."
Yeah.
Still one of the best wingers in the world. Maybe didn't have the numbers, maybe didn't have the stats that Alexis Sanchez had at Barcelona or Arsenal, Eden Hazard had at Chelsea in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But he was still a mainstay in that team, and whatever manager was managing Real Madrid at that time said, Di Maria has to play.
Yeah.
Whether it's in midfield, whether it's on the wing, regardless, he has to play. He's similar to Valverde now. You need to have Valverde in your team, and it's the same as Di Maria.
And I think even
he's
his
not a good salesman. I
PSG.
walked out with a car.
Nah, I was good. To
The
be
guy
fair.
said, I'm not a good salesman.
But you have to undersell yourself to oversell.
Yeah, you know
I
what
was
he's
even,
doing.
to be honest, Elias, you were just saying words. I was thinking maybe Elias is right. I wasn't even listening to what you're saying. I was thinking, who would I remove for Di Maria?
But even his
for
PSG
someone?
run, I think, gets overlooked a lot of the
His
time.
PSG
He
run does
was-
get overlooked.
He was so key and kind of behind Zlatan, behind Cavani. He was always, as you said, the side guy. And in big moments, a lot of the times, he was the one that stepped up. But for Argentina, not just even in the World Cup as well, so many Copa America runs where he was crucial. And I'm like, fam, he is almost a guy who big games, consistency, quality, variety in the different positions he can play. Like, I'm surprised he's not a little bit higher by some people, but 10th place, as long as he's made the list, I'm quite happy with that. 43 points for him in total.
Couldn't
What a
make
player.
my list without Angel Di Maria. Even the way he ended his career, how inevitable it almost became. This is Mr. Clutch.
Genuinely, I
Like
started
in
my
the
list and I
biggest
said,
moments.
where am I getting you in?
But you have. That's what I was literally the
That's what
same.
I said.
I was like, Di Maria's got to be in this
There was
list
two
somewhere.
players that I was
Yeah.
like, I'm forcing you in by
Bro.
hook or by crook.
And could play either side. I remember when he came to United, it was just a different
Nah, you
level
lot
of
pissed me off.
No, we did.
You lot
and
pissed me off.
we took the
Well, you
piss.
lot can't
don't get me
protect the
wrong.
crib.
It's
You lot
a
can't
joke.
get him
Yeah,
security.
At least put some alarms.
You like
Put a
man,
gate around his house
bro,
or something.
It's like he was
Putting
just
him
living in ends. He was just
Bro.
living in a normal block.
At least let Rojo get robbed or something. I don't know.
He came in first 6 months absolutely cooked as well.
No, but do you know what it was? Like, genuinely, it was like world-class talent has just walked through the door.
Yeah.
And often, sometimes you see from world-class talent that comes in from overseas, like, okay, maybe he needs adaptation.
Adaptation.
Who? Who's that? I don't know who that is, brother. I'm quality. I'm walking in the door and I'm showing you my quality. The Premier League was on notice, and brother,
Yeah.
I can't explain to you guys how much it felt like, oh my god.
And the best thing about that, he
We
didn't
finally
even
did
play
it.
on the wing as well.
This is what I'm
Because he
saying.
was playing in the free back.
Yeah.
Brother, Angel Di Maria is unbelievable, right? You mentioned everything about Madrid, and you mentioned so well about Argentina as well. How many times is it like this goal is huge? Even when they lost to France, and was it the semi-final? They lost the final. Sorry, that they lost to France. When he was going back for bangers,
Yeah.
just slapping goals in top
Yeah.
corner. The guy is unbelievable. Even for Juve in the Europa League, one time he scored a banger, no?
Scored against Nantes, he
I
scored a
remember
hat-trick,
that,
yeah.
bro.
Well, he was
Won the
good
penalty in the World Cup final as well.
Unbelievably
He scored in the
important.
World Cup finals.
Yes,
as well.
he did.
It's almost like his performances might get a little better when the stage
Yeah.
gets bigger.
Nah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna blame the geographical location of where I was last night when I made this. Nasib knows where I was. So I'll blame that
What
guy.
was their name?
So I wasn't fully aware.
Let's move on anyway. Number 9 now with 46 points, only 3 points ahead of Di Maria. I have him in 4th place.
Okay.
Abs, you have him in 3rd place.
Wow.
Elias, you have him in 7th place. Once again,
Yeah,
you do not have this guy on your list. And we will get to you very shortly.
Oh, I
we
know
will get
it
to you
is,
very
I know it
shortly.
is.
Because Star Player also doesn't have him on his list. And this is a pattern you're going to see where people either rate this guy really highly or they just don't have him on the
Yeah.
list. Liaz has him 5th. Liban has him 3rd.
Yeah.
Fuizzi
Wow.
has him 9th.
I know.
Rinaldi doesn't have him on his list. Faisal has him 7th. Shuaib,
Oh my
not on his
God, he has
list.
got Vinnie,
Chunks, not on his list. AV, not on his list. Hasib, 4th. Hussein, not on his list.
So it's either not on the list or quite high. Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
It's just, I
I'm the
feel
only
like
good
a
one. I think I
lot
put
of
him
people may have potentially
I don't- yeah,
forgotten
yeah.
who the hell Luis Figo is.
Oh, we need to investigate that.
I put Figo on my list because of Real Madrid TV.
Yeah, I don't care about it.
Yeah, man, I can't lie. I hate it.
Real Madrid TV when I was growing up was the best channel
Brother,
ever.
that guy,
Every
For
game
free.
possible for free.
Yeah.
I watched Figo religiously every week. I watched all of them. My first ever kit was an R9 shirt, a Real Madrid R9 shirt. I got it for Eid. I remember. Shout out to my mum.
Big up
But-
Mumsy.
I remember watching Figo every week, and I was like, "Who's this guy? This guy's different."
Yeah.
One day he's playing centre mid.
Yeah.
One day he's on the right. One day he's on the left. One day he's just behind Ronaldo. He's doing everything.
Yeah.
And that's mainly the reason why I put him on my list. Obviously, I never really watched him live growing up.
Same.
Couldn't afford to watch Real Madrid
No,
growing
for
up.
sure.
Was in the slums.
Yeah.
But
Big up NatWest though.
got to watch him. Got to watch him on Real Madrid TV. So shout out to him.
Nah, he's a quality player. I think we were saying earlier on, like the early renditions of inverted wingers with Nedved, he was right there and won the Ballon d'Or in 2000 when we're talking about this kind of list starts as well. I think was huge for Real Madrid. Portugal as well, you can't forget. Before Cristiano Ronaldo, that man was starving,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
But he was the guy that used to carry them. Not no Nuno Gomez, even your boy Rui Costa. He was cute, but that was the
That's
main
my
guy.
boy.
No. Yeah, I heard you're a big Rui Costa
No,
star.
that's Stars.
The stars.
Oh,
That's
is
a
that
really
Stars?
cost.
Yeah,
My bad, bro.
You just get drive-bys
Oh,
all the time when stars takes you. Have you noticed?
Shot in my shoulder. Like.
But that happens all the time when stars takes you. People
But
just
I think he's
associate
just
you.
one of those kind of timeless players, in my opinion. I think he could have played in any era, played off either side, both feet, very good. Dribbling wise, I think one of the best wingers. And I think because he didn't have that kind of explosiveness of speed, people kind of
all
overlooked him as a
manipulation,
winger.
man.
But bro,
He's a
that's
pure
the
tech
thing,
man. He was just a
He
tech
was
man,
a
yeah.
pure
He's a
tech man
pure
where he
tech man, bro.
manipulates the defender and the ball.
And there's a
it's
bit of
like-
street ball as well with him.
Bro, he was
Absolutely.
incredible for me.
He was on Jogger Bonito.
Yeah, he
He
was
was
joggable.
joggable,
Yeah,
yeah.
he was
joggable.
He added
He was
street
jogger.
ball to it. That's what
Yeah.
everyone loved about him because typically Portuguese players they always have that street ball because he was the superstar of Portugal.
Yeah.
He added more to that.
Yeah.
With being having
love
that
it.
street ability to him.
No, Figo, yeah, you could easily have Figo, to be fair.
Of
And
course.
as well as Di
Top
Maria, but I don't know. I still like my list.
No
to be
problem.
honest.
No,
That's fine. You was distracted last
You know what
night.
that's gonna mean?
Each their own.
Distracted last
Each
night.
their
Does that
own.
mean that you're gonna have some players that no one has in the list?
Yeah, sounds like
Probably,
it.
yeah.
I like that.
Potentially.
I
We'll
like
see,
that.
we'll
Let's
see.
see. Let's have a look.
Well, I mean, he already had
Oh, no, so
Giggs
it
and
was already
Nedved.
Giggs
Giggs and
and Nedved,
Nedved, yeah,
outside
those
of
are the
top
two.
four.
Those are the
Top
two.
10, okay,
So,
yeah, sorry, yeah, the rest is not.
But yes, it is Luis Figo in 9th place with 46 points. And next up, we have another incredible winger. I have him in 8th place. We actually all have him in the list now. Luca, you have him in at 7th place. Abs, you have him in at 6th.
Yep.
Ilyas, you have him in at 10th. Star player at 6th. Liaz in 10th. Liban at 10th as well. Fuzi at 4th.
Bottom half.
Rinaldi and Faisal both in 9th. Shaib 7th. Chunks 8th. AV 6th. Hasib 9th. And Hussein 8th as well. And that is, of course, the bold sensation. The one-footed wonder. The
my
move
boy.
that cannot be stopped.
Yeah.
It is Arjen Robben.
And he finished 8th.
No, you joker. It's Ribery.
It's actually from...
Hey, no, but spin that. Spin that. There's a reason why.
There's a whole reason
There's
why I
he's
got there. Because you can't say Batman without Robin. You know what I mean? Listen,
save.
Frank
Hey,
Ribery,
hey,
the man who was denied a Ballon d'Or,
Yeah.
as some would say. Listen, injustice. But talk to me about Frank Ribery, because I feel like he's one of these players I feel like universally rated by everyone, and is very much a streets player, but then also done it on the biggest stages, done it for a number of years as well. Maybe you could say France wasn't the kind of greatest periods, but at club level, what this man defined in an era. Real wing play. is how I
100
look
million
at
percent. And you mentioned earlier about the first sort of iterations of the inverted wingers, the right-footed players on the left-hand side, and you mentioned the Nedved. For me, it's Frank Ribery.
This was
Off that
the
left-hand
finished
side.
product.
This was what it looked like. The modern version of what it means for all of us when we are in the park, and why are we trying to cut in and finesse it to the bottom right corner over there. Obviously, Henri's got his own patented finish, but off that left wing, cutting in and trying to finish it. This is because we're watching Ribery, bro. And the same thing, and we're going to talk about his friend on the other side as well, because it's the same for the left-footed brothers on that side. But in terms of influence on me and the way I saw seeing football, these right-footed left wingers, which were just almost a talisman for the team. Get that ball to that side every single time. He's going to have the beating of his man. Something's going to be happening. He's going to create chaos. And you speak about wing play. This is the personification of modern day wing play. It was Frank Ribery. For me, one of the first people that I was watching week in, week out, seeing him, Champions League nights. You're right, it's more about the club level, because the peaks that he was reaching with Bayern Munich was so impressive.
And you got to remember as well, he
But even
I
at
feel
what-
like
yeah.
joined Bayern Munich in an era where they were on the down.
Yes.
Won the title and all sorts. And him and
as
Luca
well.
Toni came in, and they were kind of the real needle movers and turned the ship around, basically.
Yeah.
So him, I give a lot of responsibility for what Bayern went on to become. As
I
well.
was also going to
To your
say,
flowers, Frank.
like you said earlier, Fuad, you mentioned France, bro. He was in arguably one of their worst periods. Like after 2006 World Cup, France
That's exactly what I was
struggled
gonna say now,
massively
yeah.
up until really Euros 2016. That period there, that sort of like 9 year period,
dominant
period.
was
They were
dark.
beefing every
And,
camp.
Yeah.
all that
You
You
kind
know,
of
they
stuff.
were arguing between each other, and he was the best player in that period. And obviously, you had like a young Benzema, you had some other decent players in there, but they weren't a squad. But he was, I felt sorry for him, really. He played in the wrong era of the French national team. If he was part of that Euro
Either
2016
side, if he was either
squad,
side.
either
literally,
side, bro, he would have been a World Cup winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, he played in the 2000s. He was part of the 2006 World
Yeah.
Cup squad as
Yeah.
well. He lost
Yeah.
in the final, but he would have definitely had more European titles to his name.
Nah, well, listen. Frank Ribery, number 8 with 48 points. And next up, number 7, we have a man with 55 points. Abs, you have him in 5th place.
Nothing. I just know you love this player so
Luca,
much.
you have him in 5th place.
Oh, is
Ilyas,
he my boy?
you have him in 6th place. I don't have him on my list. Star player has him in 5th place. Liaz has him in 6th place. Liban doesn't have him on his list.
Of course, Liban does.
No, but yeah,
Liban does.
Of
course, Liban does.
Look at the
Of course, Liban does.
Fuad and Liban. Two of the ahmaqs of the ahmaqs.
I don't know why that Liban one killed me.
You know why? Because that's your partner in crime, in nonsense.
Oh,
Your partner in crime,
Fuizzi
partner
has
in
him-
nonsense.
Fuizzi has him 6.
I might even
Brother,
call Liban and ask him why he ain't got him on the
Bro,
list.
Fu has got him in the list, but you don't.
Faisal does not have him on his list.
But FaZe was Vinny 6th. Let's just ignore that.
We can't. With that
Hey,
list, we have to throw it out.
relax,
Ignore that
dude.
list, ignore that list.
You see me and my guys, we got green line chemistry. Shuaib at 8.
Brown line chemistry.
Chunks.
I mean, green line chemistry. That's disgusting. Ugh.
It's not like
Disgusting, man. God.
Oh my days.
That is disgusting, man.
AV has him in at 5th. Hasib has him in at 10th.
I like him.
Hussein also doesn't have him on the list.
Just bare brown lines, like.
It
Just
is, of
nasty.
course, Eden Hazard. Now,
Goodness me, the amount of man
Mr.
that don't have him on the
Busquets.
list is ridiculous.
Yeah, too many, man.
well, that I count 4 man. Me, Liban, Faisal, and Hussein.
That's a lot of man.
That's good company.
One is too much.
That's good company.
Oh
That's
my
a wealth
days.
of ball knowledge there, you know.
That is crazy.
So,
Abs, I want you
seeing
to.
as you guys had him in your top 6 because
No, no,
you
this
both
is-
had him 5th.
Abs loves this player. Abs, brother.
Yeah, you
Take it away for
Abs,
us.
I'm gonna hold your hand.
Tell me why I was the fool to not have
Abs, you
Hazard
can
on
Abs,
my
Abs,
list.
Abs.
We're gonna-
No,
I'm gonna
wait,
come to
Abs, you're good. You can do this. You can do this. Just take a breather.
I'll
Just take a
try.
breather.
Yo,
Just take a breather.
get a zoom in on the hand.
Thank you, bro.
Just take a breather. No,
Yo,
just
that
keep
was-
it. I want you to
that
keep your
was
hand
a
there.
Okay, that's
Crazy stroke of the hand.
But I want you to keep your hand
That
there.
was
That's
a
crazy.
Do you want to keep your hand
crazy
there?
No, no,
stroke of
it's
the hand.
You sure?
No, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be
Okay,
fine.
cool.
It's not gonna be easy, but I will try. I'm gonna start with Faisal. I'm not gonna come to you. Wallahi, I think this guy's the biggest fraud I've ever seen in my life.
Oh.
Not you, Faisal.
Oh, Faisal.
Yeah.
Brother. Please
Look at the
remember
camera,
this.
look at the camera, look at the
Remember
camera.
this carefully.
Look at
And
the camera.
all of you guys
Don't
who've
look
been
at us.
watching for long enough, you need to understand this.
Just
Faisal was always Hazard. He was Hazard's guy. Hazard was his guy. Then all of a sudden he said he came to Madrid and he broke my heart. You won a Champions League. You're how I'm thinking about Hazard. What are you doing? And then all of a sudden he flipped. Now Hazard is a scrap all of a sudden. This for him. I'm not talking about for you. I'm talking about for him, his perspective, and he flipped the whole narrative between the conversation that we know happens all the time with Hazard, right? He was on one side of history, decided, oh Liverpool, let me start pushing the Liverpool prop over here. Now my man becomes his guy, right? This is an exposure of that guy, number one. Fuad, Liban, old age. I leave you guys to it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. No, but we already know what Liban's on.
Liban, we know injections, problems.
He's got a tattoo.
Tattoo on his hand. He's a mess. He's a mess. We know that brother already. Who else was missing him?
and Hussein.
There's a reason we can't see his face.
Yeah.
You mug! You're in the room, you can hear me, and you don't have Hazard in your list.
Do something about it.
Now let me talk about why Hazard should be in your list.
Yeah,
Oh my days.
Talk about
Sorry guys, that actually lost my composure there.
That's
I'm
good.
not
It's
usually
alright.
like
It's normal. It's
No,
normal.
look, this is the first time I've been honest.
First time we're in
Lucas sing worse, trust
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
On this
yeah.
very table.
Yeah.
I've been
It's crazy. But so yeah, Eden Hazard, brother, as left wingers go, for me, one of the best, one of the very best. Influence on a football pitch, I speak about so often. I've said I don't know how many more comments I need to say for people to understand what this guy was doing for English football. The closest thing to Messi these British Isles have seen. Influence on the football pitch, control, creativity, beating a player, picking up the ball from anywhere on the football pitch, driving past people, making the correct decision, scoring goals, winning trophies. What more do you need? Brother, the guy is... there's nothing more left to be said. Wing play. It doesn't get more wing play, brother. The creative, but it's like he's not just the one that's going to be on the last line. I speak about David Villa and what he did so importantly for Barcelona. This guy was everything for Chelsea. Like, we need to understand fully what we had. We didn't appreciate what we were watching with Eden Hazard week in, week out while he was in the Premier League. I can't, for the life of me, understand why people don't want to appreciate what they had. Like, we are not going to see wing play like this in this country. We're not going to see it, especially the way football is going. We can all appreciate the way football is going now. It is going to be more stats based. So we're going to see, rightfully so, wingers who are trying to win games for their team, be on the last line, get the goals and all that. No problem.
Saka and them man are still around. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Saves the game.
at least he's still there. At
Man
least
trying to rub off Saka, bro.
No,
that.
Yes, yeah, you're trying to take that as a Robin off Saka. I'm not.
no.
That guy's unbelievable still. But
He rates him.
Hazard is a level that we don't see often, bro. And
you
there's
know
a
what it
reason
is?
why I put him in terms of just full dominant control over football matches and fear from opposition whenever he's playing. Like, I don't say in terms I rank him Premier League players, but it's like the Ronaldos, the Henry, and the Hazards
agree with you.
are the guys that are in that legion. Like, I'm worried every time I have to play against these guys. I'm not saying he's one of the best Premier League players of all time. I'm saying this is the feeling that you felt when you're watching Hazard and playing against him. And I don't need to talk about quotes because everyone speaks about him highly.
No, of course. And you're talking about a lot, from what I'm hearing, the ability of what he's able to do in a game. And I agree with that. But it's not even just that. You're talking about his Chelsea period. I understand that.
Well, he won titles for
But
Chelsea.
I fully agree with that.
Okay, with me.
But the reason why I don't have him in is also, we're talking about the best of the best here. We're splitting fine hairs. And I'm sorry, in the Champions League, Eden Hazard for me was not that guy.
Okay.
And we can look at all of these greats and all of those things you mentioned there,
Yeah.
the right foot, the beating the man. Every single one of these, man, has that in their locker
Some
as well.
not to the same, because you put Vinny in your list, right?
Vinny
Vinny
in my
has a
list.
huge question mark internationally.
I agree with that.
So
So what has
I'm-
he shown me in the league and in
problem.
the
Yeah,
Champions
no,
League?
I agree.
He's
So-
earned the
so he
title
ticks-
of Mr.
Yeah, I
Champions
agree,
League
I agree.
in arguably the same amount, less amount of games
Yeah.
than Eden Hazard.
Yeah.
And it's like, whenever I'm seeing youngsters break through, I'm like, the first thing they get compared is Hazard's Champions League tally.
No,
and what he's
yeah,
done.
yeah,
And
But
the thing
Chelsea
is,
in
it's
that
not
period.
just
Yeah,
to
exactly,
measure him
yeah.
off that, but we're splitting hairs here. Then you look at Belgium as well. And listen, he had an incredible, was it World Cup 2018?
Yeah.
But you played
Remember
in a
when you
golden
said, where was
generation.
Hazard?
And the same negative that people put on Kevin De Bruyne, internationally did it. Those are the same things for Hazard.
No, it's
just
not.
because you turn
No,
up
it's-
in one tournament doesn't mean now in the other tournaments where
What do we say about Kevin De Bruyne? We say, brother, when your country needed
No,
you,
no,
did
no,
you
no,
step
no,
up?
no,
No, that's
no,
what we say. You say we can't paint the two with the same brush because when we needed Hazard to step up for Belgium,
in one tournament? But one tournament doesn't negate all the other ones as well.
I'm not saying it
look,
does.
What I'm identifying
let
to
me
you
let you
here is there's multiple things where he's missing holes in his games, where some of these other guys
there's
don't.
multiple
which
things
is
that he's missing in his game or in his legacy. You mean?
in his entire
Because it's not his
legacy.
fault. It's not his game.
His
It's not
game, you know what I'm trying to say.
So we're
You're-
saying
it's
Champions League.
semantics.
Sorry, Champions League.
The Champions League and the international
You think
record for me.
international? He
I
hasn't
think
done enough.
internationally for me, he didn't achieve what, bro. You were part of a golden generation meant to be the leading guy. If you're saying he is what you're saying he is, and he's the needle mover and he can manipulate a game, why were you doing that at the Euros, big man?
What he needed
He was the
was
best player in that period.
but-
I understand it, but it wasn't
So
enough.
what more can he do then?
What
But
do
that
you mean?
Belgium team, I think it's a bit.
Don't
because-
make me now start digging into the archives and,
Brother,
and
please.
looking at the Euro 2016 and the Euro.
No, but all I'm saying is you admitted he was Belgium's best player during that period. Right?
Because let's not forget Lukaku. Are you forgetting what
Yeah, but
Lukaku was doing?
But Hazard has been better for Lukaku, better than Belgium for Lukaku.
Listen.
Better for Belgium than Lukaku.
You can say that.
Do you disagree?
I can say Lukaku. There was
I
moments
want
where
to.
he
But
was.
what are
there
you
was a
saying? I don't
moment-
know what you can say.
Bro,
What are
there
you
were
saying?
different tournaments. What are you talking about? You act
I'm
like,
saying overall.
of course, you're looking at ability and
No,
trying to
I'm
define it by
not, I'm
ability.
not,
It's
I'm
not
not,
ability.
I'm
There was tournaments Lukaku was
I
the best
promise you
player.
I'm not doing
There was
ability.
tournaments Hazard was the best player. But you're not going to tell me
overall, who's
just
better for
'cause-
Belgium?
Just because you're the best player in a bad team, that does not make you an all-timer now.
No, I haven't said
Does
that.
it?
I haven't said that.
There's no one over there.
Does it? There's people behind
Yeah,
it.
of course there is.
But that's what I'm saying. So for me, that's the reason why I'm knocking him off. The guys who I put before him, Di Maria, Luis Figo, all of these guys were doing it at every level they've gone to. I
Vinny
didn't-
hasn't been doing it at every level. How is Vinny
Apart
in your
from
list
Brazil.
but Hazard, bro?
I put Vinny in, and I said, what did I say? I would rather even maybe put Pavel Nedved there. I put Nedved even ahead of Hazard for me.
Yeah, not
That's
for me.
just me. But I'm saying the fact that you're this dumbfounded by Hazard not being on people's, I'm like,
I
it's
think that's
not
crazy.
warranted
For
like
me,
that
it's
in my
crazy.
opinion.
For me, it's crazy.
Listen, from an ability standpoint, fully agree.
Yeah.
He is one of the goats.
But I think that's a reduction.
In
But
terms
I
of
want to let the other guys
manipulating.
talk anyway. I don't want to let the other guys talk anyway. I don't wanna-
Can't lie, you lot.
I think that's a reduction.
You lot have done. I'm on your side.
Yeah.
I got nothing. I got
Listen,
nothing to back.
you could-
What can I say now that's gonna help your
Also,
argument?
you're going to mention, I think, about the Champions League. Chelsea.
'cause
Chelsea.
you're-
No, this is what I was going to say
Yeah.
with the Champions League.
Go on.
Chelsea in that period from when he signed in 2013. Well, he signed in the.
I think they
the
played
summer
2 years
for-
in the Europa League
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah. At the start, they weren't challenging.
One of the
they weren't
years
even
where he
playing
down
Champions
tools.
League.
Yeah.
14.
They don't want to. They want to ignore that one, but
The,
What is that?
the-
What,
the-
is one down season?
Let him land, brother.
the
Let him land,
furthest they got in the Champions League, I think, was 13-14 when they went to the semis against Atletico Madrid, Chelsea, and even then they weren't a top team in the league. They were doing very, very poorly that season.
Yeah.
They were never a Champions League contender. Nobody ever really expected Hazard. He never really had the expectation to drag Chelsea to win a Champions League or even
But is
take
that
them
not what
too
you
far.
expect from the best players?
Yeah, but he was making a difference in the league though as well. You can't. I don't think you can expect him to make the difference in every single competition year in year out as the main man.
You mentioned
But you lot were
earlier-
doing that for Vinny. You lot were doing.
But
You
Vinny
lot do
wasn't.
that.
Vinny
for
had
every
guys
other player.
around
What,
him.
Hazard?
What was your response to that? Your response to that was a lot of people you're going to look at in this list have parts where they have off years all I think Luca's saying is that you can't be the same person that wants to every season try and drag you to a league title win, and at the same time drag you to a Champions League when the team is
By
not
the way,
suited
I
to
haven't-
Champions
uh,
League.
by the way, you
that
know
Chelsea
I,
team
you
wasn't
notice
good
how
enough
I
to win a
haven't even
Champions League.
mentioned his Madrid era.
No, because that's the only the Madrid era.
Don't do that.
No, I'm saying, but
Don't do that.
Fuad.
He moved at the peak
Fuad,
of his
Fuad.
career after his best
That's
year
the-
at Chelsea.
that's
That's 100 mil.
But that's the
Don't
only
do
thing.
that.
That's
Don't
the
try
only
and
thing.
dismiss it
That's
like
the
it's nothing,
only
bro.
thing.
No, but I'm saying-
That's the only
I-
thing that tarnishes his legacy is his Madrid stint. I don't think his international stage really tarnishes everything.
No, I'm not-
Because
for me.
he was
So
the
what are we
best. He
talking about
was the
here
best
then?
player. It's just the Madrid bit that for me lowers his legacy a
agree.
little
And I think
bit.
even then it was unlucky because he got
Injuries as well,
Cra-
which
hindered
are
by
which are
injuries.
out of his
Crazy.
control. For the Belgian national team, he was by far and away the best player.
So- Was that out of his
So
control?
Belgium is a tick.
Belgium, he,
I don't know if you lot are classing that as a tick.
no, it's not. It's not.
Fair.
Look, he was their best player for Belgium, but that Belgian team, everyone says golden generation, golden generation.
And what did they
it
say
was
about
the
that?
wait. It was the golden generation in Belgium's football history, but it wasn't good enough to win the Euros in 2016 or win the World Cup in 2018. They weren't the best team. They weren't the best nation in the world in either of them 2 years. They were deemed as ranked number one. But how many times have you?
Were Italy the
Seen
best team when they
rankings,
won the
yeah.
Euros?
No, but Italy was a better drill team. They had more. Italy was a better drill team,
Yeah.
and they were on a crazy winning streak going into the Euros.
and Belgium.
And
had
nobody.
Nasser Chadli at left
I
back.
don't know. Come on, man. You lot,
Nasser Chadli.
I think you lot are minimizing that Belgium team a little.
No,
bit.
I'm
Lukaku's
not.
brother.
I'm
Lukaku's
not.
brother at left back.
I'm not minimizing.
Hey, that's a nasty straight. Jordan Lukaku.
Just getting thrown in there.
Well, let's move on from Hazard.
think,
Innit? I feel like we
I
spent
think
a
it's
bit
an
of time on
agenda. I
this
think
one.
it is agenda, if I'm being honest.
He's saying agenda.
I'm not necessarily just from Fuad, by the way, because me and Fuad have had this
I mean,
conversation
people
many
will
times.
say,
You
"Oh,
might
we know
disagree.
Liban's agenda.
Battle of
No,
the
but Liban
Bridge,
is for
he's
sure,
haunted
for
you,
sure.
and I'm like, bro, one game doesn't bother me like
I
that.
don't,
I
don't
just
care. I'm just saying, I don't think people analyze his career fairly. That's my
Yeah.
opinion.
okay.
What an imperial talent he was.
Yep.
See, there it is. The word talent again, ability comes down to it. I told you, man.
We watch
move.
football, don't we?
We move.
We watch football, don't we?
move.
Ain't that we watch football for?
Number 6. Moving up to now
God,
65
man,
points.
you're a prick
10,
as well, you.
10,
Sorry, I seen his face behind the camera. So you're a prick, man.
10 points. 10 points ahead of Hazard. We have the number 6 with 65 points. I have him in 3rd place. Luca, you have him in 3rd place as well. Ilias, you have him in 4th. Abs, you have him in 9th. Star Player has him in 8th. Lia's in 4th. Liban 7th. Fuizi doesn't have him on his list at all. Neither does Shuaib and neither do AV. Rinaldi has him in 5th. Faisal has him in 2nd.
Yeah, shock.
Chunks has him in 9th. Hasib has him in 6th.
Me and Chunks is listed
and
in similar
7th.
stuff, by the way.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
It's a bad thing. I'm no problem, man. Nah,
I do.
It
we're
is
talking about
Kylian,
Mbappe.
Killy, Mbappe.
I do get why people have him. I do get why people have him high and why people have him low.
Oh, actually,
I get
yeah,
why
let me
people
not
have him
scream.
high
I'm
and
not
why they
screaming
have him
like
low.
that.
Talk
No,
to
no, yeah, he's actually done it. But the thing is, my problem with Kylian
What's your problem?
is international stage. Ding, ding, ding.
no,
No
it's
problem.
absolutely ding,
Unbelievable.
ding, ding,
He's
ding.
one of the greats.
Already.
Mad, innit?
Yeah.
But for club level, I have been okay. So Monaco wins the league with Monaco.
Wins the league with Monaco.
yeah,
goes
yeah.
very far in the
Broke
Champions
through it like
League.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unbelievable breakthrough.
Incredible. Goes on
that
to
PSG
becomes their
time-
all-time top goal scorer. Takes them to a Champions League final.
Yeah, he does.
Well, takes them.
I
don't know about takes them.
Someone else might have been
mean,
involved.
Someone else that
Yeah,
might. I don't know. I don't know if he's on the
Someone
list.
else, yeah.
He was there, wasn't
Yeah, I don't know. We don't know his name, but now he's there.
Someone else, innit?
If he's there, it matters.
promoting,
Chiba Moting was what it was.
Julian Draxler.
Jose Lu bailed out Vinnie Jr, didn't he?
But yeah, Kylian, I think for me, in the club side of things, there is still question marks with Kylian. And I think I said this even when they got knocked out against Arsenal in the Champions League just now as well, about how it will always look bad for him if PSG progress further than where he goes to his new team with Madrid, especially.
Yeah.
Because when you make that move to Madrid in the way that you do, and I think even saw Leah speaking about this a while ago about how he brought all of his mates in towards the end at PSG, almost like the club was bending to his every will. And then you go over to Madrid and you're in a new setup and you almost maybe think that it's a bit of a given. I can have a bit of a slow start. My performances are going to improve. Rather, there's still huge question marks about him at club career for me, which is why he was on my bottom half of my list. But at the same time, I hear you. If someone is putting more weight on the international stage, what he's done on the international stage is unbelievable. So I'll let you guys.
I think this narrative would be completely different if he just had an extra World Cup. If he won 2022 World Cup, I feel like everyone would even consider him as like a top 3 on
No,
this list,
I
but,
think
but
yeah,
even
number
top
one.
10 player ever. I think
Yeah.
people would be saying. Like that's not, I
International
don't even
stage,
think
yeah.
it's ridiculous to say he's a top 20, top 15 even player
Yeah,
of
already,
all time.
yeah.
And-
He's a joke. Like if we talk about goal scoring wingers, apart from Messi and Ronaldo, who we can't even include on this list,
Yeah.
he's by far and away the best. He's a super complete forward. He's fast. He's 2-footed. He can play on the inside, on the outside. He's incredible. And I think he's the third best player. That's why I put him third. And I see what you're saying with the club side of things. He hasn't won a Champions League, which probably hinders him a lot. That's the only thing missing. He's 26. That's the only thing that's missing. And he probably should have. He should have a Ballon d'Or by now.
No, I was gonna say Ballon d'Or and Champions League are missing for him.
But
once he gets
is that through judging him through the expectation of the lens?
Because this is the thing.
We expect Mbappe to be as perfect as Messi.
Yes,
and
because people.
Ronaldo.
No, you do. You put him on that level.
Exactly, and it's almost
his
like
age as well.
because he's started his career off in such a tear as well, where it was like an upward trajectory the whole time.
People expect
you can't do no wrong.
That's the thing.
But he is an alien as well. I think he's one of the aliens in football, Mbappe. With his pace, his power, his ability to finish.
Freak,
like everything he said, left foot, right foot. He's a freak athlete and he's a freak footballer. So everyone expected him to go up that trajectory and be on level with them two. People were saying when he was 19, 20, 21, oh, we might have the next Messi here. He might compete with Messi in terms of Ballon d'Ors because they were fizzling out and there's no player that can compete with him. But now, it's like he's gotten complacent. It's like he's gotten complacent. You see it on the pitch. He doesn't track back. There's that video of Luis Enrique cussing him saying, look at Michael Jordan. He used to defend. You need to defend like him. Yeah. I think he got to that complacent level because if you look at Ronaldo and Messi, Ronaldo was a freak in terms of his work rate and what he used to do off the ball and how well he used to keep his body. And then Messi, he was so good going forward that Pep and Luis Enrique and all these other managers used to say, go stand up there. The other 10 men are going to do the job for you. Do you get what I mean? Mbappe doesn't have either of those luxuries at the moment. And now he's at Team Real Madrid where they've got 3 of the best left wingers in the world. You've got Vinny and him who they look like they're having an ego off at the moment.
I agree.
All the time. You've got 1 week Saudi saying they want Vinny. Then 1 week you've got Mbappe not celebrating with Vinny. Do you get what I mean? There's so many of these little things where he doesn't help himself. But if he carried on going the route that he was going when he was at Monaco, then PSG, and if he stayed at PSG now and let them build the actual team he wanted to build, he could go up that trajectory like Messi and Ronaldo.
If I have to try and justify my position for Mbappe, maybe like I didn't have one strict rule when I was thinking throughout this list. I wasn't thinking more about legacy or ticking off this. I was also trying to incorporate what the expectation and what the output is based on the expectation. I feel like you guys have opened my eyes a little bit to maybe being it because you're right. Went to PSG, was their top goal scorer. He has been mashing work for a long time. We can't deny that, and what he's done internationally is unbelievable. But maybe parts of that was maybe preference a little bit as well with other players that are above him maybe. But legacy-wise, you guys are right. I don't have an issue where some of you guys are placed there.
But even as a footballer,
he's
as a pure footballer, he is.
He's like it was about fear.
I think
it was about fear. The amount of fear that someone puts into a back line.
I feel like over time, it's almost become forgotten, in my opinion, what he can actually do, and everybody just sees him now as like a kick and run merchant and a speed demon, and I'm like, bro, I feel like a bad Mbappe year has made us forget, man. And I remember in the Champions League, was it in the first knockout round when he had that kind of game where he rejuvenated and everyone was like, whoa. And everyone started doing, maybe Ballon d'Or late charge. And I'm like, look, you see, when you lot see the real Mbappe, you lot want to act proper, but
that's how football fans are so up
it's and so up and down, man,
But also, you mentioned about the narrative of when Messi and Ronaldo go, who's going to be taking up the mantle there. That expectation is still a crazy expectation to try and want a player to live up to. Internationally has outdone more people than ever, most ever footballers. So
he's in that top 1% of World Cup players that have done it at that level. Those 2 goals in the final, the 2018 run.
If he doesn't finish like the closer record, I'll be.
I think he will. I think he's very close to it now. I think he's maybe one more World Cup and he's got. I think he's got, and especially with how many games there's going to be, he's going to be. I think he'll do it on the next one.
Yeah, I think he'll win another one.
Yeah, they've got a good generation coming up. France.
Also, another thing, not just the World Cup lost in 22, but the Euros lost in 21. I mean, he missed the penalty against Switzerland, but that France team. Bro, in reality, that France team should have won Euros 2016, World Cup 2018, Euros 2021.
That Euros was underwhelming, very underwhelming.
They should have won all 5 of them in a row.
Well, listen. Now we're entering top 5 realm. And
top 5.
Kylian Mbappe, number 6 with 65 points. This next man has 67. So only 2 points separate them. And I have him in at 9th. Luca, you have him in at 8th. Ilyas, you have him in at 9th. Abs, you have him in at 4th.
Oh.
Star player has him in at 7th. Lia's at 8th. Leeman at 8th as well. Fouzi at 5th. Rinaldi 7th. Faisal 8th. Shuaib 5th. Chunks 5th. AV 4th, Hasib 7th, Hussein 4th. And that is, of course, the man who I spoke briefly about earlier, Arjen Robben.
What would you call him? Is he Batman or Robin?
See how you did that. He's here all week, guys. He's here all week.
I had him 9th, Yeah, and I'm surprised that he's ahead of Mbappe.
Yeah, I
on this list,
struggle
in
to,
my opinion.
I struggle to see him over Mbappe, man.
I think he is someone who, in my opinion, his legacy has grown even bigger post-retirement. And I think
Rightly or wrongly?
it's twofold. Because for me, I feel like the first part of his
I
career,
think it's wrongly.
I think the first part of his career was at PSV, was a wonder kid, came to Chelsea and was injury hit. Went to Real Madrid, was still injury hit, but won 2 titles. Went to Bayern Munich, and I think it took him a year or 2 to actually adjust his feet. And up until they won that Champions League in 2012, he was most known for his World Cup final miss. He was known as like a nearly man who was inconsistent as well. And that one move that everybody praises him for now, back then was frustrating because it was like, he's so predictable. You know what he's going to do. But after that Champions League win, it was almost like he had World Cup 2014 right after, where he was the main man for Holland as well. And I feel like that tail end of his career, he was so good and so consistent that his legacy grew. And in retirement, it's almost like, the unstoppable move. And Ribery, Robben. And personally, I always ranked Ribery higher than him. I had Ribery 8th and Robben 9th. But I feel like he's just someone who is undeniable. For me, he was one of the best wingers ever. But as high as people rate him, I do think post-career, there is definitely a bit of a PR boost.
And no, there's a big PR boost because we don't have many players like him anymore.
Yes,
That type
that
of
is
winger.
definitely
That type of
another
winger.
thing as well.
Like how many players are playing right now where they can cut in? You know what they're gonna do every single time, and the defender lets them do it. The defender can't stop them, and they get something out of it. There's not many players that we have like that anymore. And also, he used to do it on the biggest stage. He used to do it on the biggest stage. Every time we watch a Champions League game, when Bayern Munich was on ITV, we used to see him every single time. That goal against United at Old Trafford,
Even against
that volley, Arsenal as well, 2017. All these things on ITV. I think it was on BT then, but
BT,
all them things on ITV when he used to do it, him and Ribery. I think that's what's boosted him now because you don't get those moments anymore. And also because football's so accessible now. You could turn on TV and watch Bayern Munich right now. Back in the day, you couldn't really watch Bayern Munich.
It's also a nostalgia thing, I think, Ilya.
Nostalgia as well,
Because people looking back on the memories of Robben, man.
Yeah.
Like, I think when Mbappe retires, people also look back and think the same way.
They're going to be like, he's a fake
That's
demon.
what I'm saying. But for me, Mbappe's already fake demon. For me, Mbappe's already better than Robben. I think he's a much more complete footballer. I think he's got way more to his game. But his career's not finished, so that's probably
What doesn't Robben tick, though?
he's not. I don't know, like.
Club career, international, Champions
Were you talking
League?
trophies or like game? Like
In terms of, we were talking about kind of like how you look at it, maybe what you do for your club in your league, Champions League, internationally.
I think one thing you could maybe say about Robben is, like Fuad said, it wasn't really until he won the Champions League in 2013 when he scored in that final where he sort of started getting motion and started improving season upon season. Because literally the season before, he missed a penalty against Chelsea.
Yes.
1v1, bro.
Champions League final. Yeah, like, bro, like, before then he was a really frustrating winger to
the
watch.
narrative the other way around is that he needed that heartbreak for him to move on and
No,
he did have a good career. He aged like fine wine.
He aged like fine wine.
That's the part I agree.
aged,
He actually got better with time, and maybe it's a good thing because the first part of his career was so injury hit as well. That
But then,
he
once
goes
he
under
started
the
to get
radar.
that fitness,
though.
but then someone like Mbappe's been at the top since he was 18.
Literally since he stepped on
Do you know what I mean? And now people going, but now he's fallen off a bit this season. His numbers are still a joke this season. It's just the expectations we have for the best player in the world, which Robben never was, by the way. That's why people saying, he's a bit worse this season than Mbappe. So,
That's true.
For me, Robben over Mbappe is ridiculous, man.
Yeah, but he is unfortunately on our combined list. And let us know, where do you think Robben, should he be higher, should he be lower? I don't know, maybe he's in the right place. But now there is a significant jump. 67 points is what Robben had. Now we're moving on to 87 points.
Where was Robben? 6th?
Robben was 5th.
5th.
Yes, so now we're entering top 4 realm. This man, I have him in 6th place. Luca, you also have him in 6th place. Ilyas, you also have him in 5th place. We will talk with you very soon.
You don't have.
No, we're not even
Star player, 3rd place. Liaz, 7th place. Liban, 9th. Fuizzi, 1st place.
Yeah, of course.
I'd expect
That's on
no
brand.
less.
That's on brand.
Rinaldi, 6th. Faisal, 5th. Shaib, 3rd. Chunks, 3rd. AV, 3rd. Hasib, 5th. And Hussein, 5th.
See with Fuizzi, yeah?
Now,
You see with
everybody-
Fuizzi, yeah?
Now-
I think he thinks if he didn't put him in top 5, Liverpool say, yeah, we're done with you.
Yeah.
They say, we're cutting you off, Fu. No, nothing anymore.
The official Liverpool account is going
Official Liverpool's going to
Give me that Google, boy.
That's
Give me that pixel back, man.
Yeah. Give me the contacts with it as well.
But listen, you were sat here 10 minutes ago spitting vitriol and venom at people behind the
Vitriol's a
camera.
great
Whoa, Mr. Lexicon, you pause your words for
Can you use that a
Hey,
sentence, please?
hey.
He just did.
Suck my dick, bro. See you, yeah? I'ma deal with you. Because you was just cussing, man, for having agendas. But here I have every member of the team has this man in arguably top 5 places, but you don't have him on your list.
Who had him lowest?
Now tell me that is not an agenda.
I didn't have him in that.
Who had him the lowest? It was Liban with 9th. And you
course,
know
Liban.
what? I
On
kind
brand.
of understand that.
Oh,
I
yes.
respect it.
You can understand 9th, but not 11th.
You know what? He has him on the damn list. He has him on
Would
the.
you have him
You
in
don't have my 11th.
Maybe.
Stop lying. Don't make me take this belt off.
Yeah, chill, brother. Not the never crash out, brother. Lucas, he's already suffering from the last one, bro.
I'm
Chill
trying
out.
to rate him. I'm trying to rate
Chill
him. I'm
out,
trying to
bro.
give the same energy you was giving others.
I hear you.
So talk to me.
I hear you.
Mo Salah. Mo Salah.
Yeah,
You do not have.
Can you tell us the player, please?
Apologies.
Sorry.
Let's see if we put a little bubble there. Mohamed Salah
Mohamed Salah.
Come
on
on,
a
man.
Ballon d'Or year.
You're not putting in
Who's on a Ballon d'Or year?
Well, Salah, he's meant to be going for the Ballon d'Or this year, no?
You don't want to put a Muslim brother in the top 10?
Akhi.
Sadio, I thought
Zlatan
about.
Ibrahimovic vibes.
Yeah, Sadio, I thought about. Sadio.
Okay, first.
And jokes aside, but the thing is, my difference in me and you is you can't.
Don't,
No, but you can't accept that it's an agenda. You can't accept yours is an agenda.
It's yours
Mine
an
is
agenda.
genuine.
It's not an agenda.
I genuinely believe
It's not
what
an
I was telling
agenda,
you.
but I'm just saying that Salah, okay, objectively speaking, he's been mashing work for so many years in the Premier
yeah.
League, for sure.
7
years, all
for
right.
Liverpool.
Champions League, he's played a part in Champions League. Big Champions League, he's been there. Internationally, he's done his thing relatively with
Hey.
Egypt as well.
You know what?
Because Egypt had a bad team, and he's had to
Everybody loves
carry
to
them.
go on about the Abu Trika era.
Abu Trika was
But
a
them
player.
man were demons. They had
Who told me something?
Amizaki,
Who told me something?
Mido Hassam,
No, someone
Hassam
said-
Ghali.
Someone behind the camera said they spoke to an Egyptian friend of theirs and he asked them who's the Egyptian god. The guy said Abu Trika. Why am I going to argue?
Why are you saying
Egypt?
what? Astaghfirullah.
Why am I saying that?
Astaghfirullah. What did you just say?
Said Egyptian god.
Astaghfirullah.
huh?
That's
You
what you
just
just
said
said.
that now.
I was Willem
literally
Stein.
what
I
you
didn't even know I said that.
Yeah.
Egyptian brother that he said that he was speaking to. Before me and Hussein were having religious conversations. That's why I got confused.
yeah,
We're having
yeah,
religious
yeah,
conversations.
yeah,
Talking about Dean.
I was Willem Stein. Like, what the hell did I just say? But I don't
Salah!
sorry.
Explain
Sorry,
yourself!
That's trapped. I'm tweaking. But I was just trying to throw.
That was crazy though.
No, don't dive.
So yeah, he's speaking to an Egyptian guy. He's speaking to an Egyptian guy, and he said, and he said,
404 error not found.
yeah, I'm tweaking right now. But he
take
spoke
a
to an
breath.
Egyptian guy
Yeah.
in the cab. Hussein back there. And he said his goal was Abu Trika as well. But that was a point that had nothing to do with anything. But Salah, listen, the thing with Salah is, if I looked at that list, could I say that I prefer him over all the players in my list?
You see, you're doing the I prefer business.
Well, it's my list.
Yeah.
It is
I
my list.
understand.
It
But
is my
have
list.
some.
No,
The same objectivity you were asking of others, do you not ask of yourself?
Oxymoronic.
Bare big words today.
That's an
Juxtaposition.
oxymoron for a moron.
Wallahi, you're almost 40 years old making jokes like this. Habib. What the hell is that, brother?
guess what?
No, listen. Yeah, Salah, I had to ask myself, is he better than the 10? Can I put him in the top 10 wingers since 2000? I thought to myself, no.
You know what, Fairs? As the boys who have put him on
Yes,
their
please,
list,
why
can we
spend some
present
time
a
on
case
that?
as to why he should be on that list?
Go on, Luca.
You want to go first, Ilyas?
Bro, it's Mohamed Salah.
Yeah.
He's got what? 20 Premier League goals every season since he joined Liverpool, I think. Am I right?
Yeah.
Easily.
He's won the Premier League with them now. He's won the Champions League. Say that again?
2 Premier League.
2 Premier
On
League.
the way.
Sorry, yes.
On the way.
Nah, I don't want to give it to them. He's won 1 Premier League so far. Come on.
Champions League.
Champions League. Egypt. Did you not win the AFCON with them?
Got to the final.
Got to the final.
lost to
Oh,
Sadio.
yes, he did. He did
Yeah.
lose to Mane.
Oh, so 0 international.
No, but he did go far with a poor Egypt side. Don't even try that. Don't even try that. Don't even try that. But you, even you, in your heart, know you can't. I know you don't
Deny
deny him. You can't. You don't appreciate
I
the
don't
type of
deny
footballer
him.
he is.
Yeah, but I
you don't
can't
appreciate
deny
it. You
him. I can't.
yes, but you can't deny his ability and what he's done with Liverpool and how he does
His
it for Liverpool.
output, I can't
His
deny.
output. Okay, yes, whatever you want to say, however you want to, whatever words you want to say.
Semantics.
His output that he's done for Liverpool
Yeah.
for the course of his time there,
Yeah.
and he's still doing it now at his age, compared to his brother, who went over to Real Madrid and hurt his ankle.
I feel like you might have an issue with the eye test on.
Yeah, he
Salah.
does. He does. He
And
does.
do you know
He
what?
does.
By the end of the day, goals and assists win you games. You need to win it. You need to score to win.
If it was my job on the line, Salah I pick over a lot of players, of course, because I'm saying I need goals and assists.
Salah wins you games.
Of course.
Exactly.
But if it was on my team, I need goals, I'm in a final somewhere, you pick Salah because he might play. And my thing is wing play. We're talking about wingers, right? Wingers have to, in my opinion, one of the players that's most vital for them to be involved during 90 minutes. They have to be at least taking on a fullback, doing something, being involved in some way for the team. And I feel as though Salah is just not involved in games over 90 minutes enough. That's my opinion.
If you see the way he has creatively improved the past 2 years, in my
Yeah,
opinion,
100%.
the amount of times he links up with players,
He has
finds
improved.
that
He has
final
improved.
ball.
He has
So
improved.
for
I
me
agree.
to be like, oh, he doesn't.
No, but I'm saying,
for me, what I think
can you
he is
argue
great
against the point I'm making?
No. I hear the point you're
Okay,
making,
fair point,
but the
fair
problem
point.
is you act like that's the only way to be a winger and that's it. And I'm like,
there's
nah,
other
bro.
types of
There's
wingers.
so many variations of wingers. And for me, what
I'm
Salah
saying-
has become the master of, Wenger actually, he said he spoke to and said, bro, just be the guy who's decisive in the final third. I might not need 100 touches in the game. I might just need just
but do you know
one.
how he
But
mentioned
I can
earlier?
decide the entire game. Meanwhile, the guy who you enjoy might have 100 touches.
Yeah.
Might manipulate 70 defenders.
I wanna
But
bring
if
a
he
comparison.
don't put that ball in the back of the net or
Yeah.
create something genuine
Yeah.
for his teammates, that means goal.
Yeah, but you spoke
So-
earlier
and-
about
and-
David Villa, right? And how you saw him more as a centre forward. David Villa wouldn't be completely isolated through 90 minutes the way that... Not isolated, that's the wrong word. It sounds degrading of Salah. But it's like he's not involved in enough during the game for me where I see
what he's saying
wing
is
play.
he doesn't need
No, he doesn't need
that,
to.
bro.
You're right, he doesn't.
He's a
I'm
killer.
Talking about for my
Like,
list,
he's a killer.
my preference, I want my wingers to be
But that's
involved.
the thing.
during-
That's a
it's
contradiction
for me.
right there. He's
Robben
saying
wasn't
my
always
preference,
involved
and
in
then
it
you
either.
have to as a winger.
No.
You can't have both.
For me. No, I'm not
But
putting that.
also,
putting that
Robben
expectation
wasn't
on.
always involved in like build-up.
I
play and
fully
stuff
agree.
Like that.
Robben was
No, I'm not
definitely
saying necessarily
final
build-up
third
play
killer.
necessarily.
Well, but even like creativity, there's very few wingers I would say that are like ultimate
creative.
goal
Involved
scorers
in the
and
game
playmakers.
and
there's not many. Man.
Neymar, Hazard, there's like very few that are like dictating
Yeah.
games from
Those
the
are my,
wing, bro.
Those are my type. Pause.
Yeah,
Allow
of
it.
course we understand that, but that doesn't.
No, it doesn't negate what
It
Salah
doesn't
does.
negate.
Yeah,
what
it doesn't
Salah-
negate what
And
Salah
plus,
does.
also Salah's one of them players that
And
I
that's
think
why he's
over-
rightfully so
Fourth.
high on the list.
Yeah, but I think he also overachieved in his career in the sense that, like, when you looked at him at Basel, Chelsea, Fiorentina,
You never thought he'd do
he was a very frustrating winger. Like, he was quick, he was dynamic, but his finishing was way off.
And
it
I
back
can't
then.
lie, I'm
And he
someone
overachieved
who
massively.
appreciates that where
Improvement.
if you don't have, let's say, the world talent that he's talking about, the players
Yeah.
that he loves, the Neymars, if you can milk out of your career that every last bit of
Respect
juice
it.
I respect it.
and
Something
get to the
respect.
top, that for me is that those are the players I rate, the ones that can squeeze everything out of it. And I look at guys like him, guys like even like a Kante when he was in Division 2 France. Would anybody have looked at him and said he's gonna get to the heights that he's gonna get to?
Even
Got
Harry
the
Kane,
opportunities.
for example.
Harry Kane, prime example as well. I love those types of players for me
No, I
because
agree. No, that's
it
very
just
true.
you're getting the juice. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Or is the squeeze worth? I don't know.
Doesn't
You know
matter.
what I mean, though.
Doesn't matter.
Let's even edit that shit out. Moving on. Moving on. We are now into medal territory. We are going into third place, and here, oh shit. Let's see if I fucked up the list.
No, you didn't. It's still there.
Oh yeah, it's still here, still here. Okay, going into third place. Podium levels now. 96 points. Number 3 has. I have him in 5th place. Ilyas, you have him in 3rd. Abs, you have him in 7th. Luca at 4th. Star player has been at 4th. Liaz at 3rd. Liban 5th. Fuizi didn't even put him on his list.
What the hell?
When you start doing a mental evaluation on people that are involved in this list.
Yeah. Rinaldi 3rd. Faisal 4th. Shaib 6th. Chunk 2nd. AV 7th. Hasib 3rd. Hussein 2nd.
I'm confused at the way it's like fluctuating.
No.
It's a bit of
Why
a
am I putting
scatter
that
graph.
low?
Gareth Bale.
Now,
no,
why
no,
have
no,
you
no.
placed Gareth Bale 7th
I've actually got.
place?
I can tell you.
I think
'Cause
we've all
he-
got him top 5, yeah?
Yeah.
No,
he
some
should
man
be
have
higher.
him less.
No,
than
no,
top-
on the table,
oh,
I
on the
mean.
table,
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be
I
higher.
think the only people who have him outside the top 5 are Shu'aib, Abs, and AV.
And Fuizi, he doesn't have him at all.
Yeah,
He
and
didn't have
Fuizi.
him at all.
I mean, that's not
That's
great
true.
company, to be
But
fair.
Yeah.
it's not great company.
AV,
That's me, he's
Shu'aib,
a-
Fuizi. Ooh.
Oh, it's dark.
He's just thinking about the 2018 final.
That's another brown link.
Dark.
It's another brown
That's
link.
another brown link.
Damn right.
That was a nasty one.
Nah, Gareth Bale's unbelievable.
Brown link. I like that
That's
term. I'm taking that forward.
Hey, that should work on all top 10 lists from now on. You see that? That brown link, stay away. You don't even have that brown link.
That's a nasty one, you know.
Yeah, Bale was unbelievable. Unbelievable in the Premier League. Maybe my expectation of what I wanted from him at Madrid, but then again, he won so much with Madrid.
He reached the expectation.
He did. He won so much and was involved in huge moments. Huge moments. And for Wales as well. And I don't know why he's that low.
I think,
you
look at him, wonder kid coming through.
Yeah.
Left back. It's a little bit unlucky
Left
as
back,
well.
yeah.
Coming through at Spurs. Do you remember the first 26 games he featured in? Spurs didn't win. Goes on to become a world-class winger at the club. Breaks the world record transfer to go to Real Madrid. First season, destroys Barcelona in the Copa del Rey final.
Yeah.
Champions League moments.
Ruined
him.
I wonder where he is now, Bartra.
Somewhere
On the byline, isn't it? Still?
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah, in the stands.
Still chasing him.
But Champions Leagues, as you said, both finals had such huge moments. But then the other thing I think you cannot overlook, dragging Wales to a Euro semi-final. Getting
And he
Wales
was the man
their
as well.
first World Cup qualification. Bro, it's like...
Crime, he should have been let off.
That cannot be sniffed at. We were talking about guys like Giggs earlier who are all-timers. Couldn't do it.
No.
With Bellamy by his side. But he said, just give me Ramsey.
I agree.
A half hamstring Ramsey.
Yeah.
Give me that.
Give me Joe
and
Allen.
We'll survive. Give me Joe Allen.
Joe Allen?
We gonna give
How
some
Robson
things.
Kanu
Joe
up front?
Allen.
Yeah, I mean,
Minimum.
Yeah.
The bare
First against
minimum.
Belgium.
Against Belgium.
And when we talk about players like
Give me Ashley
Robben,
Williams.
Mbappe, who strike fear,
Yeah, he was that.
bro. Gareth Bale was the definition of fear, bro.
But he was peak athleticism.
He was
for
peak
football.
athleticism.
For
He was
footballer,
with technique.
He was
as
peak
well,
athleticism, and what was crazy is that Real Madrid had 2 peak athletes on either wing,
Mad.
that could shoot from 50 yards out,
Dead ball
that can
specialist.
Transition.
specialist.
That can kill though,
Yes.
bro. They can do everything.
everything you can think of
BBC.
for their side. Yes, it was BBC. It was BBC. White BBC. But they were having Bale in that team was ridiculous. Having Bale in that team was ridiculous. And what he done against Inter Milan. What he done against Inter Milan as well. We can never forget.
After what you said about the Egyptians, put that down.
Yeah.
But no, what an incredible player, Gareth Bale. I think he's someone who was guaranteed going to be on
Best
this
British
list.
player of all time?
Yeah.
Hands down.
And he
Hands
did.
down.
Best British
in my opinion.
legacy of all time.
Best British player. Don't change
Player.
what I
Don't
asked.
do
Really?
this semantics
Player.
nonsense.
Wayne Rooney.
Nah, Bale for me.
Number 2.
Just
I'll
asking the
take
question.
Number 2.
Go ahead.
But he sits in our bronze third place with 96 points. That is 9 points ahead of Mo Salah. This top
I
two.
wanna see the
Aye.
Too many points. Too many points.
All I'm saying is,
Is it close?
all 4 of us have them in the exact order.
Brothers.
Well done.
Brothers.
Congratulations.
Brothers.
Congratulations, lads. Well done.
Quite a few sweaty hands.
I don't know if I should do number 1 first or number 2.
Wait, say the points. How close are the points? First?
The points are...
It's quite a big
number
gap, to be
2
honest.
has 135. Number 1 has 144.
How many people have number 1 first? In the
As
list?
first.
Yeah.
Unos, dos,
We're teasing,
tres,
we're
cuatro,
teasing the
cinco,
audience. They probably fast
7,
forwarded to the end.
8,
They're like, I
9.
I love how he said 1, 2, 3. He ended with 7, 8, 9, 10. He said, I got that up to 5. I got 5. After 5, I ain't got a clue. God damn.
That was 8, innit?
Ocho.
Cinco, yeah.
No one
10
noticed that. I clocked that.
10 people out of 12 have him in first place.
Okay. Who
Who didn't have him
I
first?
reckon Chunks doesn't have him
Liban
first.
didn't have him in first place. Fuizi didn't have him in first place. And AV and Hussein.
4 people.
4 people.
Really?
So his maths was way off.
Yeah,
10 out of 14.
My bad.
10 out of 14.
Oh, so Chunks did have. I don't
Yeah.
know. If
Chunks
you
had him in first
Yeah, I
place.
thought Chunks would have him second.
So do you want to
Chunks
give us the
had him
grand
first.
reveal of who number 1 and 2 is?
Oh.
So, let's do number 1, shall we? The winner of the greatest winger in football history since 2000
Yeah, sure.
Not including Messi.
is
Oh.
it's Neymar Jr.
Neymar Jr.
Neymar Jr. is the number 1 and Ronaldinho
And
is
the king
number
himself.
2. This is almost like the biggest argument, I would say, over the past 4 years.
It's a
on the
compliment to
internet.
both of them.
Absolutely. I don't think
compliment to
it's a
both of them.
slight to either one.
I think either one of them would say to each other the other was better than them. Neymar will say Ronaldinho's
For
better,
sure.
Ronaldinho
Yeah.
will say Neymar's
For
better.
sure.
And they're both cut from the same cloth. Both inspired a lot of people to play football. I remember I was never a winger. I never played like Ronaldinho ever, but Ronaldinho was one of the reasons why I watched football growing up. That goal against Chelsea, my favourite goal ever, the toe punt on the edge of the box,
goal
the flip
against
flap,
England, Seaman.
the flip flap.
Free kick.
World Cup.
I didn't even want to say that.
Yeah.
David Seaman. I was in school. My teacher was Brazilian. She rolled in the TV 9 in the morning. I see Ronaldinho chipping semen. Do you know what I mean?
It's crazy.
Yeah, mad. Mind games. It's mind games.
Nah, Ronaldinho, he was something else.
Ronaldinho's the player that almost unlocked people's imagination. I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like you had
That's a
Zidane,
great way to put it.
who made the game look as easy as possible, and then you go and try what he does, and you're like, bro, why can't I do it though? He made it look so simple. And Ronaldinho does things that you're like, I didn't even know that was humanly possible.
Yeah.
Like I remember the crossbar when the Nike advert came out.
Yeah.
Till they told me years later it was fake. I believed it was
same,
real
same.
because I'm like, that's Ronaldinho. Of
Bro,
course he could do that.
even little things like the Jogo Bonito advert of him playing five-a-side compared to, when they kept flipping between him and as a kid.
Yeah.
And he's doing the same skills, and I'm like, I wish I could do that. Yeah, and he's skipping past 6 man and he's chipping over people, and they're like, yeah, that's the goal he scored. That's the game he scored 13 goals in.
He's
You know,
almost like the
little things like that.
definition of joy in football.
I feel a bit
like
sorry
always
for
played with a smile on his
Ronaldinho.
face.
Why do you feel sorry for him?
I feel sorry for him because I think the new generation almost tarnishes his legacy a
Yeah.
bit with the numbers and longevity sort of debates because
He was-
Ronaldinho had a short. It's not short, people.
It's not
because
short,
at-
but I know what you mean,
At
yeah.
the time, it was actually regarded as quite
Yeah,
a long.
Yeah, but now
Three
I
years.
can
Now
Yeah.
we look
Yeah.
back at it and
Yeah.
think 3-4
Now you've got to
years.
be perfect your whole
That's
career.
not
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
But those 3-4 years, he was by far and away the best player in the world. And like you said, the impact he had not only on the pitch, but off the pitch. That's what you define a footballing legacy, man.
Yeah.
Not just what you win on the pitch. Like someone like Salah, for example, won a lot on the pitch. But off the pitch, his legacy isn't like a Ronaldinho's
Yeah.
or a
And
Neymar.
people need to remember, like, before Ronaldinho, it was R9's world.
Yeah.
R9 was the guy, the poster boy. For him to come on after that and carry on that legacy, and for me, live up to it as well, was part of the World Cup winning team as well. I feel like Barcelona changed their lives, basically, in my opinion. It helped Rijkaard get back on track. And I just feel like it's just so, because as you said, it's a 3-4 year period. Remember Kaká is only like a 3-4 year period as well, but people will brush it over because and nowadays it's 15 years you got to be perfect. Neymar we could talk about separately as well, but I just think Ronaldinho deserves his flowers.
I think what you said at the beginning of the opening of that statement was unbelievable. He is the epitome of imagination, and it's almost why we love football. Not even to get too deep about it, but it's like the expression, the escape. We love just you're just there carrying the ball, enjoying it. You're gonna go play with your friends. The whole gimmick of smile on your face, people talk about, bro. That's real, bro. Like every time, my mind when it thinks about being a child and just watching Ronaldinho and seeing these adverts and being around this kind of stuff, it's just like, this is genuinely what made me fall in love with this sport, which affected all of our lives. We can't deny it, and he has to play a big part in that. And I know we're saying that, putting him second, but it's like, this is what the connection between football, Ronaldinho, and the love of the game were all in combination, bro.
But you know why I put him second? Because I almost feel like he is the first prototype.
It is,
and then I look at Neymar, and I'm not gonna lie to you.
And then Neymar took it.
I for years was like, don't
Don't even
compare
bring
Neymar. Don't bring him to the conversation. There's levels and brackets to this. Take your pup and go away. And then there's only so long you can keep denying him, bro. After the PSG move, I was like, here we go, done. He's gone to France, Obviously, Ronaldinho played PSG as well. But what I saw him do, Neymar, throughout those years, I was just like, that last year at Barca, that first year at PSG, for me, I was just like, now this guy's scary. I feel like for Brazil, every time he didn't play, it was just day and night between what they were. And I was just like, he is so unfortunate that he doesn't have the R9, Rivaldo,
squad,
Lucio. Do you know what I mean?
He's similar to Ribery. He's similar to Ribery.
He's
fallen.
He's got
unfortunate.
Richarlison and these man playing for it. I'm like, come on, this is what
guys who are supposed to be superstars not stepping up and helping him.
It's crazy. So I think I taxed him for a long time for that. But then I felt like just as the player, I was like, bro, he's been doing it for longer than Ronaldinho.
But he's been. I think people underestimate how long Neymar's been at the top.
The Santos years, you almost just.
I remember being. I think I was in. It was year 11, then going into sixth form and then college, where I used to watch Neymar every single day on YouTube. There'll be a new comp somewhere on YouTube. Some randomer. 9-minute comp. 9-minute comp before football. I don't play nothing like Neymar. I need to watch him. I'm going to watch him for 5 minutes before I go ball.
Some inspiration.
Just some inspiration. And I don't play nothing like him. I play nothing like him.
Watching a video before you go kick.
Did you never used to do that when you were younger? I used to do that.
Everyone did it.
I'd watch Verratti, Wilshere, all these players. But Neymar's completely out of the way I used to play. But I used to sit there and watch him like, I need to see someone try this, because what he used to do at Santos is the same way we would look at Ronaldinho when we was younger. It's how kids will look at Ronaldinho at Neymar now.
What possessed you to think that this is something you can do?
That goal he scored at Santos that won him the
goal, Puskas.
the Puskas, when he ran in between and then he fell and all that kind of stuff. That's impossible to do. You couldn't give him the ball again and
And
the
ask
same
him to do the
scenario
same thing
and he
again.
does it again.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's the same as Messi's goal against I think it was Betis or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, the one
whatever
that
it was.
literally
Back in the
couldn't-
Maradona
yeah,
one.
yeah.
There's goals like that you can't recreate. Ronaldinho's debut goal when he hit the crossbar and in. You don't recreate those things. So you know what I mean? So Neymar for the kids is what Ronaldinho was for us growing
No,
up.
because I grew up in the generation.
That's what I was
Neymar.
gonna
So
say,
when I was scrolling on YouTube in year 4, I found this guy, Neymar Jr. skills and highlights.
Damn, year 4, and I
2010.
was
Yeah, year 4.
Yeah, 4.
This brother said what?
Yeah,
4.
And I'm talking about
yo,
first year college.
Gaga, man.
End of year 11.
About college.
God
Yeah,
damn.
I was year 4.
Damn.
I was working.
I had 3 jobs. Hard work. Hard work. That's what he said. Hard work. That's what he's doing.
I'm just punching in, boss, man.
Damn.
Yeah, I was year 4. I saw his skills. I said to mum, take me to Tesco real quick. I got the crappy Tesco gel, you know, the hair gel.
I hear it.
We couldn't do that.
I went
Yeah,
to Scotland.
yeah.
My head don't do that.
I got the
head don't do
hypervenoms
that.
and I was Neymar.
I was just about to say, I
my
always
head don't do
growing
that.
up, because we grew up in almost like the peak era of football boots.
No, you, not me.
Yeah, me. Total 90s, F50s and all of that. Don't worry, you look like you're my age anyway. Yo, my bad, man.
Go on,
But
man.
I remember seeing the hypervenoms and I never rocked with them. I remember just thinking these black and orange boots, they're not
They
it.
were the
But
But
greatest.
so many people, whenever like I talk about boots on Twitter or whatever,
It's Venoms.
they'll, bro, hypervenoms, and I'm like,
Venoms.
Oh, yeah,
yo,
they're elite.
Neymar
It's
actually
generational
took
thing.
over.
I still
with
wear
the wave of
Venoms
that.
to this day. I still wear Venoms.
swear.
Yeah, I still got.
Fairs,
I wear my
man.
Venoms whenever we play football.
The thing with these two, the top two, is they really got the streets.
Yes.
They really have the
it's
streets.
almost like
And they back it
Ronaldinho,
up. And they
and
yeah.
also, but Ronaldinho was like, he had his legacy of the people like where his his youth, the one that his children that were obviously inspired by him. Almost now we're beginning to see what Neymar's input.
Kids, yeah.
You see me?
Desiree Doué,
The university.
Lamine Yamal,
Yeah.
these guys who play with an expression, Nico Williams, you see the way they
Yeah.
celebrate, they're doing it all. Vinny
I
himself
think
is
now, I
hugely...
can't lie, that has partly made me have a more of an appreciation for him as well, especially with the big injuries he's had off now as well. I'm like, bro, Neymar's going to be gone in a few years. And I'm like,
Oh, no, he's already gone.
bro,
man.
I'm,
He's already gone.
yeah, of
already
course.
gone. You
But
got
it
Lamine
just
wearing
made me
his Santos
realize,
top.
oh
You know what I
shit,
mean?
his period has come and gone almost. And
and
I'm
we're
like,
watching it in real
you
time,
got
his
to appreciate
influence.
it in
But you-
real time
We're
type
literally
thing.
watching his influence in real time. Players that we're watching in the
But
Champions
for
League
so
right now,
long,
we're seeing
because
it.
I didn't want to see him compared to Ronaldinho.
No, and I
wasn't
understand
trying to
it,
give
and
him
I
that.
understand
And
it,
then now
I
when I'm
understand it.
seeing like the next gen, I'm like, oh, raw,
Yeah.
nah. We need to give you your flowers. I was like, hey,
Yeah.
number one for me.
But
he
even
has
like
to
you
be.
said, for the injuries, right? I think Neymar was at the top of football from 2012 to 2023, the day he left PSG. So that's 11 years, in my personal opinion.
yeah.
In that period, he missed almost 2 years due to
injuries,
injuries.
Yeah.
That frustrated
And,
me.
That's
as
meant
well.
and every
thing.
February for his sister's birthday.
Also,
That shit frustrated me. I can't lie. I was like, yo, man, you
remember that vividly.
you ain't serious about this grind.
I remember
man.
that
We're trying to
vividly.
cheat the grind, man.
Bro, he was missing Champions League games.
Yeah, but Carnival,
And
as
they were
well.
getting dumped
Carnival
out.
in Brazil.
I don't know what he's
Carnival
on.
in Brazil, man.
No, I hear it. Carnival in Brazil, hey.
Right, you hear it.
When we go?
When we go.
2026. And I come back from Turkey. First place. I'm
That's the first one. It's like,
Hey, don't leave me behind. Listen, that is all anyway for this video. Let me just run through that top 10 again. It is Neymar at number 1, Ronaldinho in number 2, Gareth Bale number 3, Mo Salah number 4, Robben at number 5, and Mbappe at number 6. Eden Hazard comes in at number 7th. Frank Ribery at 8, Luis Figo in 9th, and Angel Di Maria rounds off the top 10. Thank you everybody who took part in this. Thank you to everybody who's watched this. Make sure you comment below where you think players should have ended up, whether they should have been higher, should have been lower. Let us know your list of top 10 as well
1%
of
league,
wingers
yeah?
since 2000.
And
What should the
1%ers.
do?
Ooh, we're going to say today, what was the word you said earlier? Began with a V.
Lexicon.
That's a crazy one. That's a
Vitriol.
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 I need someone to put definition of vitriol in the comments.
There you
Please do.
And
Till
use
next
it in,
time.
Use it in a GCSE exam if you're doing GCSEs.
go. Yeah,
Yes,
for
please
sure.
do.
Please do.
Good luck in your exams. Take care.